Welcome, everybody. I am Love Coach Scott Thomas, and it is Saturday Night Alive for the Global Peace Tribe, and that's you. You're the Global Peace Tribe, and want to welcome everybody watching on Facebook, watching on YouTube, and of course, those of us that are all together in our Zoom room. And an invitation to those of you that are watching on Facebook or YouTube, come join us. Come on into our Zoom room. It's a lot easier for us to connect and converse with you that way. And it's easy. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com, globalpeacetribe.com, and register. It takes about a minute. And there's a lot of advantages to coming into the Zoom room with us and registering with us. You will get every week on Monday a replay, not just of this show, but of all 54 shows that we've done so far. We've been doing this show every week since the pandemic began. We also provide people that are part of our Global Peace Tribe, if you will, free projects, free videos. You can get access to the amazing Swami Biandananda State of the Union address from last week, or we're going to be sending out on Monday or on Tuesday, links to a beautiful pair of talks given by the great Andrew Harvey, providing remarkable spiritual wisdom. So this is all what goes to the people whose email addresses we have. We keep the email addresses ourselves, and never goes out to anybody else, but it's a great way to stay connected to us. So come join us, globalpeacetribe.com. And I do want to thank all of our broadcast partners. A big thank you to Unify. We get to reach tens of thousands of people now via Unify, and we get emails from people all over the world watching us. So we're really grateful for Unify. And we're always very, very grateful to Light Touch. And I just want to acknowledge for a moment our executive producer, Jay Mayer, who does so much to make our show happen. Thank you, Jay. We love you very, very much. And we have a remarkable group of teachers and musical performers, and even a magician tonight. And to tell you all about the show and all about who we've got, here's my producing partner and our co-host, Deborah Giusti.
Thank you, Scott, and welcome everyone to now what is our 51st show that we produced every Saturday night since the lockdown. Yes, we just celebrated our first anniversary last show, and we're launching season 5, Time to Thrive, which is April through June. And again, we thank you so much for your donations. When you register, this really helps us produce a quality show for you. And some of you are donating to our GoFundMe, which we're going to have available tonight. And again, this helps us produce a show every single week for you at the level that we've been bringing you all last year. And again, this is going to be an amazing show. Our theme is manifesting prosperity in a natural economy. So one of the opportunities of this pandemic is that it's given us the time, the whole human collective, to pause and go into deep reflection of how our world works, what doesn't work, and what we truly value and should prioritize as we're creating this new world forward. And during the last year, we've seen so many dysfunctions of society, such as racial injustice, treatment of women, and respect for Mother Earth and all life on the planet come up to be revealed and healed. And now this show tonight is going to go to the next level of creating a new world with understanding how to create abundance for all and care for all without compromising various groups in society, with care and well-being for our planet, and really having everything benefit everyone. And so in tonight's show, our presenters will weave in next level ideas and information on how we can create a natural economy through combining our wisdom of manifesting and how creation works in connection to nature, source, and one another. The show will also answer questions like, what is the way to achieve prosperity and well-being? What is the natural way? And did our spiritual nature intend for us to create a direct connection with us? And how does our current economy differ from what's possible in a new paradigm, a natural economy? And we have a great group of presenters and musicians who are going to address these topics to share how we can co-create natural prosperity through a connection with nature and spirit and source. And so I want to present them to you now. We are going to have with us by video one of our favorite presenters, Lynn Twist. She's the co-founder of Pachamama Alliance, but she's also the founder of Soul of Money Institute. So this has been a great love of hers to understand how to use money in a healthy and natural way. And we have John Perkins. He's a New York Times bestselling author, international speaker, activist, and he's the founder, board member of Dream Change and also Pachamama Alliance. And we're happy to have back tonight, again, Charles Eisenstein. He's a teacher, speaker, and writer focusing on themes of civilizations, consciousness, money, and human cultural evolution. Welcome, Charles. And we have for the first time Jeff Vanderkloot. He's a spiritual teacher and advisor to love-based business who is dedicated to bring forth a world filled with awakened people, communities, and organizations. Welcome, Jeff. And we have Pari. She's an award-winning executive spiritual coach who has her heart set on enabling women in society. Welcome, Pari. And we have back tonight ordained minister Gwyneth Bridge. She's a psychic, she's a medium, she's a clairvoyant of 75 years, and she specializes in ritual and ceremonial theater, sacred circles, and awakening everyone on the planet. And as usual, we have fabulous musicians. We will have again Daniel Bellone. He's a spiritual teacher and acclaimed mantra singer-songwriter from Italy who has transformed thousands of lives across the world by sharing unique music concerts called Awakening Through Music. And we have Lakshmi Del Sesto. She's an inspired and ecstatic music instrumentalist, songwriter, kirtan leader, and she's a regular performer at many festivals. And we have back with us one of our favorite mentalists and magicians, Paul Draper. He's a comedy presenter, mind reader, and speaker who's appeared on many prominent major networks. And again, we have one of our favorites, Swami Biandananda, who is the cosmic comic alter ego of writer, humorist, performer, Steve Behrman, the Swami whose favorite yoga pose is tongue-in-cheek. So thank you all for joining us. We are going to post the Saturday Night Alive GoFundMe during this show because we'd love your green love to help us launch the new season, season 5, Time to Thrive. So a lot of times we bring on nonprofit organizations or people in need, and we're certainly going to do that again this next season. But for this show, we'd love your green love to help us launch this fabulous new season, season 5, Time to Thrive, April through June. And now, before we start the show, I want to bring on and honor one of our collaborative partners who's a spiritual teacher in her own right, but also a mega manifester who helped create this show. And she's going to share a little bit more about why she felt so inspired to bring this amazing group of presenters to be with you tonight. Welcome, Sharaya Dharma.
Thank you, Deborah and Scott and everyone gathered here. It's been a joy and a pleasure to bring you all together to convene us around this incredibly important topic of a new feeling tone around resourcing, prosperity, and the economy. It's been a long time coming on the planet where we have an opportunity to shift entirely to a different, I want to say a feeling tone of how we can co-resource one another in connection with the earth. And so I really want to invite everyone here into that heart-centered feeling around what's possible, because everything that we create begins with a feeling, whether we're conscious of it or whether we're operating unconsciously and running programs that cause us to feel and think and imagine things that we don't want. So as we intend to create a new way of prospering together on the planet and allow ourselves to feel what that possibility is, we'll begin to get more and more downloads about what that even could look like. So I want to invite all of us into a field of truly expanded possibility tonight as we listen deeply, not only with our ears, but also with our hearts and with our whole being, to feel the energy of co-creation in connection with the earth and source and what's possible in an entirely new way and new level of operating. Shall we create a new operating system? Perhaps the seeds planted tonight by all these beautiful beings will help us do just that. And that was indeed my intention. So without further ado, let's get started. Thank you all.
Thank you, Sharaya. Beautiful job that you've done with the show. Thank you so much. Well, I get to introduce someone that I've known for a very long time. I first had the honor of scheduling her, booking her on a television show I worked on 25 years ago as a psychic. And she has continued to just blow me away with her wisdom and her great, great heart. And I'm talking about my friend Gwyneth Bridge, who is coming to us tonight as Saraswati. Gwyneth is an ordained minister with the Center for Sacred Studies. She's a psychic, a medium, a clairvoyant of 35 years. She specializes in ritual and ceremonial theater, sacred circles, and invoking high magic. She creates ceremonial objects, costuming, and art. And she's been on our show several times and always brings a remarkable energy and frequency with her. So we wanted to start our show with Gwyneth as Saraswati.
Thank you so much, Scott. So tonight is going to be unique and incredibly special for several different reasons. The first reason is being invited on this show to represent, to some sliver of a degree, such a beautiful being, goddess as Saraswati. I am beyond honored. The comprehension and beauty of this sharing is sweeter than normal. And so for the first time, part of this ritual will be me bringing you into the secret workings of how I work with manifestation and how it influences the world around us so beautifully and so powerfully in dimensions that words struggle to describe. So I'm not Saraswati per se tonight. I am a representation of a dedication to Saraswati tonight. She is a very pure goddess. She is so pure, she doesn't wear makeup. Her face shines with so much beauty that Brahma created 4 and then 5 faces to be able to see her everywhere. Basically, Brahma was her very favorite stalker, but not really. So he had to get over that obsession with her beauty. She's usually seen wearing pure white to represent that purity, and she's not flashy. She won't wear jewels. She doesn't put on makeup. She is pure beauty. She is pure speech. She's pure knowledge and wisdom unfolding and flowing. She's a river of beauty. And so tonight, it would be far-fetched of me to say that I was her. So here's where the story comes. And the story is very special, very special. I'm going to take you back in time to New Year's Eve 2020. On New Year's Eve 2020, I sat in meditation, and every year without fail, I sit in meditation and I ask which beings, whether angels, goddesses, gods, or animals, trees, nature, spirit, want to join me for the year to teach me, to work with me, And some years are very casual. The beings that arrive are very relaxed, and I see that we're going to be companionable, and there will be a simple lesson for the year. January 1st, 2020, Saraswati steps in. I'm completely taken aback because I've worked in bhakti before. I've worked in bhakti to Tara. I've worked in bhakti to Kali. I've worked in bhakti to other pantheons that come to me. I only work with who comes to me. I don't seek them. I wait for them to come. When Saraswati came, I was taken aback. I saw she was calling me out to put more beauty, more art, more wisdom into the world. She wanted me to open like a lotus to the world. And so I decided I was going to go in bhakti to her for 1 year. And the bhakti I was going to perform for her for 1 year was specifically sacred ceremonial makeup. So each and every look I dedicated to her for the year was based on whatever vision I had over the course of the year, sometimes not even connected to her. But each vision, I would sit 3 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, very carefully handcrafting beautiful makeup looks just for her. My face was the altar. My art form and my vision was my message, my poetry, my song to Saraswati. This year passed and I decided to continue, that I really loved doing these bhakti worships to her, even including the hand that I have here is part of the bhakti. Everything I do is that dedication. Obviously, this is very, very intricate because I am right-handed, and this is very simple because I am not left-handed. So this is bhakti to her, which brings me to this exact moment. Manifesting prosperity. Global economy is all of us. It's all of us feeling and flowing and moving together in an open, passionate oneness. I came representing Persephone for the spring equinox, and it was perfectly fine with fully embodying Persephone. And then I was invited by Scott and Sharaya to come as Saraswati, and I was completely blown away because they did not know that I had been in bhakti and had remained in bhakti for over 14 months to Saraswati. So to say that it shot through my system as a confirmation of how when we're in ceremony, meditation, worship, appreciation, art, and beauty, it influences the world around us. Tonight, Saraswati herself presents the gift to you to use your meditation, your worship, to sit and find that altar inside of you, the art, the voice, the beauty, and let that radiate out to your community so that they can feel it. Because my community, who I'm with right now, they felt it. They felt her, and I am humbled by it. Literally humbled. I've brought a couple little ceremonial moments that I want to share with you. The first is the presentation of rose petals. Mainly, I chose white to represent Saraswati and her purity, but I threw some red roses in to represent myself and how saucy I am, and the fact that my main bhakti for the last 5 years has been red Tara. So as I sprinkle these in front of all of you, anybody who's watching right now, I want you to see them landing on your crown chakra, blessing you with beauty, connecting you to your community, re-enlivening your ability to choose prosperity together as a human family. We don't have to be ruled by the money machine. We have hands and voices and the gifts to share with each other. We need to include everyone around us in loving and respectful ways. Everybody has something special and graceful to offer. Everybody has something that is truly divine, that connects them to their God, their goddess, their deities, their bhakti, their spirituality. And together, we become so much more. Together, like honeybees, we can bring about sweetness for everyone. This is my bell and my dorje. And I ring it to open your throat chakras, to open the communication so that each and every one of you connect with each other from a pure place. Return to your memories. Return to human family. We have been apart for far too long. Let that ring inside of your hearts. And finally, a very special moment. Inside of this beautiful brass vessel is many, many waters collected from around the world, sacred rivers, sacred sites. Inside of here is Sarasvati water. Inside of here is Tara and Buddha water. Inside of here is Ganges River and the Lourdes. As I pour this and drip the droplets in front of the screen, I want you again to see it like sacred nectar, blessing your soul, moving you back into the flow of prosperity. Know that as I do this, I may be far from you, but I am also close to you. There is no time and space. We are moving quantumly with each other all the time in a sacred dance. I am so honored to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Guinevere. And people can learn much more about Guinevere, and she has a lot of offerings by going to her link tree, which I've put up here. If you go to linktree.com and it's Guinevere's Enchantments. Guinevere's Enchantments.
Real quickly, did you get the picture of the rainbow?
I did. Are you ready for me to show it?
Yes. So the story of the rainbow is also part of the beauty of manifestation and bhakti. I had just finished doing my face. I had just finished finishing my prayers and my songs to Sarasvati, and it was the golden hour. And I decided to take a step outside to thank the sun that was setting. And that rainbow was my first sight right after I finished ceremony and right before I sat here. And the thing is, the camera really didn't capture it. It was a full rainbow and it was triple. And oh, my triple goddess, how much I wanted to share with all of you how magic is constantly afoot.
That is so beautiful. Thank you, Guinevere. And I'm going to have Guinevere on my Straight Talk show on Friday night, May 7th. So you'll get a big dose of Guinevere that night and get a chance to experience her in wonderful ways. Thank you, dear Guinevere. And to introduce our first musical act, here is Deborah.
Thank you, Scott, and thank you, Guinevere, for being with us again. And we love to begin the opening of the show with also music. Music is such an important part of Saturday Night Alive because it raises the vibration and it connects us all. And that's why we wanted to begin the show with incredible musician Daniel Bellone. He's not only a musician, he's a spiritual teacher, as well as an acclaimed mantra singer and songwriter and producer. And he is known for a unique musical concert that he does all around the world called Awakening Through Music. He's performed in 30 countries with it. He was also a large part of the festival that has happened and is still happening this weekend, Festival of Light. And we're so happy to have him back to begin this amazing show of inspiring our natural prosperity. Welcome, Daniel.
Thank you so much, Deborah and Scott, for having me here. It's an honor to be in this show. And I was listening to this story of Sarasvati right now and got so inspired because in a way, my journey of bhakti and devotion also has to do with the power of speech. And Sarasvati is known as Bhak Devyai, that is, Bhak is the power of speech, which is basically what we admire so much in prophets and saints, because whatever they said, it would happen, it would manifest. And that is a power that you can develop as you purify your voice. When you talk the truth, when you have inner integrity and outer integrity, that truth starts manifesting as you speak it. So Sarasvati is that energy that everyone wants to reach out to, but not everybody gets, because it's such a high energy. It's a consort of Brahma. And it's been said that the creation was not complete until Sarasvati came in and she refined the creation of Brahma. So if the creation of Brahma in the whole universe was extraordinary, something was missing to that. The beauty, the fine touch was missing. And she came in and she finalized that creation. So in that spirit, I would like to share a mantra for Saraswati to purify the power of speech that we all have so that we can get inspired to create the new reality coming to our wealth, our prosperity, and our abundance, following our Dharma. And also Saraswati is the goddess that opens the intelligence of the heart. That's where the inspiration is coming from. That's where we get the insights and the intuition. Prano Devi Saraswati Bhaji Bir Bhajini Bhati Tinam Avitryavatu Bhagdevye Swaha Prano Devi Saraswati Bhaji Bir Bhajini Bhati Dinam Avitryavatu Bhagdevye Swaha Om Aim Saraswatyai Namaha Om Aim Saraswatyai Namaha Om Aim Saraswati Devi Om Aim Klim Sau Prano Devi Saraswati Bhaji Bir Bhajini Vati Dinam Avitryavatu Sau Klim Aim Om Swaha Om Aim Klim Sau Prano Devi Saraswati Bhaji Bir Bhajini Vati Dinam Avitryavatu Sau Klim Aim Om Swaha Prano Devi Saraswati Bhaji Bir Bhajini Vati Dinam Avitryavatu Bhagdevye Swaha Prano Devi Saraswati Bhaji Bir Bhajini Vati Dinam Avitryavatu Bhagdevye Swaha Om Aim Saraswatyai Namaha Om Aim Saraswatyai Namaha Om Aim Saraswati Devi
Daniel, it's always such a blessing to have you on our show. Thank you so much. And Daniel's going to be back, but tell us a little bit about this new project of yours and shining your light. What's that all about, Daniel?
This was the theme song for the Festival of Light, and for the first time I combined a mantra with a rap. So the rap is basically a spiritual teaching to open up yourself to the light that you are, to share your love. So I recorded it with my wife, Anastasia, and it's our first baby.
Oh, beautiful. Well, what a beautiful baby indeed. And people can get that by going to your website?
Yes, you can go to my website, to Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. That's my website over there, danielbellone.com.
Right. And that's spelled DanielBellone.com. What a beautiful couple you two are. And Daniel, thank you so much. It's always just a blessing. And we look forward to seeing you in a little while.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Well, I'm really honored to introduce this next guest. He's been on the show twice before, and he really, I believe he's one of the voices of reason in a challenging time. And every time Charles Eisenstein speaks or what I read, it's always filled with wisdom and perspective. Charles is a teacher, a speaker, and a writer, and he focuses on the themes of civilization, consciousness, money, and human cultural evolution. He's the author of several books, including Sacred Economics, The More Beautiful World Our Hearts Know Is Possible, and Climate, A New Story. His background includes degrees in mathematics and philosophy from Yale, and a decade in Taiwan as a translator. And he's done stints as a college instructor, a yoga teacher, and even a construction worker. So he's got quite a wide range of personal experience and background. Charles, we're really eager. Thank you for coming back onto the show, and really looking forward to hearing what you have to share about tonight's topic.
Well, thank you for such a kind introduction, Scott. And I'm also very honored to be here and really happy to see some old friends and acquaintances among the lineup here. So yeah, maybe I'll just dive right in.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah. So this phrase, usually, ordinarily for a topic like this, I would maybe talk more about economics, but I think I'm going to actually start with the other phrase in the title, manifesting prosperity, which has, it might be kind of triggering for some people because it brings to mind maybe a certain kind of New Age escapism or privilege, where it's all about manifesting my personal prosperity and ignoring what that prosperity might be built on socially and ecologically, and also prescribing some kind of mental, spiritual technology about changing your beliefs and so forth as a remedy for poverty that's created systemically and that all of us participate in various ways. Like, oh, those poor people and wherever, they should just manifest some prosperity, right? So obviously that's not what we're talking about here. And I don't want to, however, discard the idea of manifesting prosperity because there's something true in it and there's a resonance to it that we can feel as true. And so what is that truth and how can we reconcile that with the situation on this earth? Well, I think the crux of it is the idea of what prosperity is as it occurs to somebody who is immersed in a market economy that rests on a foundation of interest-bearing debt, in which it seems that my prosperity is separate from your prosperity, that I can be rich while you are poor. I mean, it really does seem that way in the kind of economy that we live in. How could you deny that some people are rich and some are poor? Whereas in a traditional gift culture, it was equally obvious that you couldn't be rich as long as somebody else was poor, because those societies worked through the circulation of gifts. If you had more than you needed, you would give it away, and you would know that you would be taken care of too, because if somebody else had more than they needed, they would give it to you. And who do you give it to? Well, as a general principle, you give it to where the need is. So wealth was a group function. And that primal intuition is sometimes hard to recover in the kind of world that we live in today. But nonetheless, on a deep level, it's still true. And you can see that in like, if you really examine the lives of the wealthy, they're still subject, generally speaking, okay, still subject to a kind of poverty, a kind of insecurity, a kind of feeling of not belonging fully to this world, of being alienated, of not being at home in the universe. Because if you were really at home here, if you were really secure, then you would have the true wealth, which is the full freedom to be generous without concern. That's what wealth is. Wealth is not a matter of holding on to it. If you have to hold on to it, you're not actually wealthy. So when we're talking about manifesting prosperity in this informed sense, we're really talking about recovering that primal security that comes from knowing and experiencing our belongingness and our integration into a circle of gift. And that change in perception, it doesn't magically change the entire system, but it leads to personal changes, and as we act within the system, it can lead to systemic changes too. On the personal level, it reorients us toward our embodiment as a gift to the world and our knowledge of our purpose as being here to, as the Saraswati was telling us, to act with devotion to life and beauty in the world, knowing that as I do that, so I experience wealth, which may or may not take the form of financial wealth. But our embedment in a circle of gift and our experience of ourselves in that way, it confers a feeling of wealth. And it also leads to new political ideas, such as, can we really be rich as we impoverish nature? Or does the impoverishment of nature actually correspond to something that is lost inside of ourselves, no matter how much money we have? I recently watched a documentary called Seaspiracy about the fishing industry and the dying of the oceans. There's really no other way to put it. And you look at those beached whales, and the horrors of this industry, and something hurts. And when you contemplate like all those dead sea turtles and all those dead whales, it's like something, and the depleted biodiversity, something dies within me too. And something becomes less rich in me as well. And maybe we can understand the poverty of the modern age, the insecurity, the anxiety, and the greed as simply a grasping for that which we are losing through our misperception that our own wealth can come at the expense of the other. So we could translate this into more ecologically oriented economic systems. And even more concretely, the idea that my wealth can rest on your poverty, that's not just an idea, it's also the basis of our financial system, where literally one person's debt is another person's wealth, because that is the way money is created. So an expression of our understanding to the contrary might be to question the international and global and national debt system And as we talk about, a great reset or something like that, and look to the opportunity that COVID has provided us to rethink everything from from a new vantage point, maybe we got to think, not maybe, in fact, I would say, yes, let's think about some thorough reform of the money system that has to include some kind of debt cancellation. So I'm just, to tie this more spiritual idea of manifesting abundance in its true sense to a political and economic idea, I'd like to put that in the mix. And I'm thinking my time is probably almost up. And if it isn't, I would happily give my time to the other wonderful speakers here.
Well, okay, you still have a little bit of time, but I do have a question with your remaining couple minutes. You gave a wonderful example. Are there any other examples you can give of what we can do, little things or big things, to create a greater balance?
It would almost be insulting to tell you all the things that you could do to, go lighter on the planet, to serve nature, to serve life, to serve humanity, to serve your community. Like, better than I do what you can do, not just intellectually. Like, maybe I could tell you, this priority is more important than that priority, and preserving rainforests and regenerative agriculture is more important than solar panels. And like, I could make a presentation like that, but I don't have the time to do that. And I would rather point to your innate guidance system that directs you toward the perfect expression of your devotion to beauty and life. And simply the step of recognizing that is in fact why you're here opens the channel and orients your care. It's like we can be guided by our care. And so the perfect action and the highest impact, it's not an abstract thing that I can universally formalize for everybody. It's unique to each person. So like my to-do then is trust that and allow that to guide your unique expression of devotion in the world.
That is such a beautiful response, Charles. Thank you. May we all be guided by our care. And because we've got hundreds of people watching in our chat room, I'd love to invite people, all of us, put something in the chat box that you have done or are doing that has created an adjustment in your care for our planet, for our world, for creating more sustainability. It's always wonderful to see what people in our chat box have to say. And that way also we get ideas, we can celebrate what you all are doing, and also it gives us inspiration and ideas. And for more inspiration and ideas from Charles, I want to encourage people to go to his website. It's charleseisenstein.org, CharlesEisenstein, charleseisenstein.org, not .com, but .org. And that's where you can get a lot more about Charles. And Charles, thank you so much for what you're doing in the world, for really being a voice that I pay attention to. I know that many of our listeners and viewers watch and pay attention to as well.
Yeah, thank you so much, Scott.
All right, see you soon. Well, that was powerful. And, one of the things that we've started adding to this show are videos. And I really want to acknowledge Jay Mayer and Jan and the beautiful videos they create. And they created something very special for tonight's topic. It's tonight's Wisdom Jewel, all about the topic of the night. So let's take a look. Thank you, Light Touch. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Jan, for that wisdom jewel. There's some really good ones in there. I gotta say, Malcolm Forbes' quote made me laugh. That was pretty funny. You know, speaking of videos, they put together another video that I'm going to show in a moment. And it's from, we've started doing this thing of taking class photos. And it's really fun. It's where we kind of take a picture of the people that are on each show. And we want to encourage everybody, if you haven't already, please do register for this new season. We are now in season 5, as Deborah mentioned. This is our 54th show. We have not missed a Saturday night since the pandemic began. And, you know, honestly, when this all started, we did a fundraising event and had some musicians and people liked it and said, God, we don't have anything else to do on Saturday night now. Everything's shut down. So Deborah and I thought we'd do this for a few weeks. And it's grown and it's grown and it's grown. And now every show reaches tens of thousands of people for a lot of reasons. And so now we're embarking on season 5. We're going to talk a little bit more about season 5, but want to encourage all of you to register. And maybe as some inspiration, here's just a reminder of what took place in season 4.
We started off the winter season of 2021 with co-creating the optimum year for us all, followed by one of our more popular shows, Angelic Activations and Manifesting Miracles. On January 16th, we honored Martin Luther King's vision for community and service. On January 23rd, we featured Our World in Transition.
Wow. It's pretty amazing, Deborah, all the remarkable presenters that we are blessed to have on this show. And we sure want to really encourage everybody, please continue to register for us. And to talk a little bit more about season 5, here's Deborah.
Yep, Scott and I are at it again. We committed for another season, season 5, Time to Thrive, because we really are creating this new world that we're all emerging into. And again, we've come up with incredible themes, incredible topics. Next week is going to be, we are celebrating Earth Day, and we've got incredible luminaries coming on: Bill McKibbins, Oscar Miro Quesada, Osprey R.L. Lake, Kenny Osable of Bioneers, Penny Livingston Stark of Permaculture, Claire Du Bois, Lori Grace, Trayton Heckman, and we're going to have music and spoken word by Amakena Gaskin, Naima Pennyman of Climbing Tree Poetry, and Shia Freedom. And we're also going to have an after show permaculture call to action. So it's incredible. And we really invite you to sign up for season 5, Time to Thrive. And also, I'm going to put in the chat box a way that you can pay it forward by gifting a season to some of your friends or people that anyone you know in community, or put it on your e-list or social media, where you can help promote the show, but also gift it away, pay it forward. And we really appreciate your donations when you sign up for the Zoom link, because that really helps us produce a quality show for you. So thank you so much. And I'm going to share about another incredible show that we're having April 24th. This is a topic we've wanted to feature for a long time, and we've got the top keynotes of this. It's Near-Death Experience, Tales from the Beyond. We're going to have Anita Morjani, Eben Alexander, Danyan Brinkley, Michael Tamora, Tom Palladino. We're also going to have back Kristen Hoffman, one of our incredible, very favorite musicians, to do a very deep spiritual experience, Sri Kala, and magician Justin Sight. And on May 1st, we are going to bring back our Indigenous Wisdom Show, always sponsored by Jan Kaplan and Jay Mayer, spanning the globe with Indigenous wisdom. We are going to be reaching out and really tapping into the Indigenous elders all over the world. On May 8th, for our Divine Feminine show, we are going to be bringing in the masculine to partner in the righteous alignment with the Divine Feminine. So the show will be around the sacred masculine and sacred feminine as they create sacred magic. And then May 15th, we're going to be bringing back Global Coherence Pulse with Teresa Collins. We will be having Bruce Lipton on that show and many other incredible speakers and musicians. And Scott, tell us about May 22nd.
Yeah, so the remaining shows, we're going to really tackle an important topic on May 22nd. And we're actually dedicating that whole weekend to addiction, recovery, and suicide prevention. I want to thank Jerry Anderson, the Mystic Monastery, for sponsoring that show. And we're going to be having some of the leading speakers and teachers on that field on Saturday Night Live, and also on my Straight Talk show Friday nights and my Sacred Sunday show on Sunday morning. So the whole weekend really dedicated to tools to help our friends and each other with those very challenging issues. On May 29th, our good friend Mark Sims comes back with some of his incredible friends, and it's all about making contact with our star family, the galactic family above. On June 5th, we're going to be doing a new topic. Lori Grace is sponsoring a show on brain fitness. And again, we've got some great teachers, a lot of the leading people who really understand the connection between our brain and our body, giving us wonderful tools so that we can truly thrive. And then June 12th is really going to be fun. We are celebrating the 60s as the rise of the Aquarian age. All of our musicians are going to be playing 60s songs. And we're bringing in people to talk about how their 60s, and maybe a little bit into the 70s influences, like the Beatles, has impacted who we are today. It's going to be a really fun show. On June 19th, it's our summer solstice show. You know, every quarter we'll do an equinox or a solstice show. We're going to have Matt Kahn coming back for that particular show and other wonderful speakers. And then finally, June 26th, our Mystic Abbot combines with Jay Mayer to do a wonderful show on building a harmonious future as we bring on some of the great spiritual teachers from our world. So that's what we've got planned. It's going to be a lot of fun. So please register. She showed you how to do it. And one last little thought about next week's show. We've got a very brief message from our friend Lynn Twist asking us to watch next week's show.
I want to invite everybody to make sure you do not miss Saturday Night Live on April 17th, which is the Earth Day show. Earth Day is such a precious day on this planet, particularly now, particularly after the pandemic. And it's the 1-year anniversary of Saturday Night Live. And the theme for 2021 Earth Day is New Ecology Rising. So please join Saturday night, April 17th. Don't miss it for the Earth Day show. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. And we're going to be hearing from Lynn a little bit later on in the show. But how perfect that we had Lynn, because we're about to bring on one of her great partners. And this, of course, is John Perkins. John and Lynn, of course, co-founded the wonderful Pachamama Alliance. Most of you probably know John, but in case you don't, he's a New York Times bestselling author. He wrote Confessions of an Economic Hitman that absolutely changed our culture. It was a wake-up call for many of us. He's an international speaker, activist, founder and board member of Dream Change and Pachamama Alliance. He's also a shamanic teacher and guide. I've really enjoyed his Jaguar meditations. So John, thank you for joining us, and we're eager to hear what you have to say.
Thanks, Scott, and all of you. It's so great to be with you all again and to be participating in this momentous event. I'd like to start by mentioning how back many years ago, 1968, I was a Peace Corps volunteer sent deep into the Amazon rainforest to work with the Shuar, who were indigenous people living hunter-gatherers' lives. And before I went to the library. There was no, I couldn't Google these things back in those days, but I looked up the Shuar. And I discovered that according to the World Bank and the United Nations and other authorities, they were about the poorest people in the world. They were some of the poorest people in the world. And when I got there, when I got deep into the jungle and I'm with the Shuar, I discovered that they're not poor at all. They're very prosperous because they really lived within the bounty of nature. And on average, the Shuar would work for about 2 hours a day. The men would go hunting or do some of that type of the men's work, and the women would tend the gardens and do the women's work. And then they'd spend the rest of the day swimming, playing with their children, making love. They're very sensual people, hanging out, just living and enjoying life. And they had everything they needed. They had food, they had great air, and so forth. And they even made their own kind of beer. That's another story. But it was very interesting. Certainly their lives were different. They lived in, very different kind of houses than us. It was very primitive by our standards. But these people were prosperous. And they were prosperous because they lived as part of nature rather than apart from nature, the way that we live. And it's interesting how later I did what I was trained to do. In business school, I became an economist, a chief economist, and I traveled around the world promoting our way. And what I was really promoting was what we could call, what's an economic system that's failing us. There's no question, because we are apart from. It's a system that's based on being separate from everything instead of being a part of. And how can you do that? You can't. And what Charles said earlier really rang a bell, because the Shuar, and I've lived with many indigenous people since then, other ones, and to take groups to them, as some of you have been with me, and I encourage any of you to go with me on future trips, that they live truly a gift economy. And they really believe that if anyone in the community is suffering needlessly from want of anything that others could provide, the whole community suffers. So people may suffer from a disease or broken bone or something like that. There's nothing anybody can necessarily do about it. But if anybody's wanting for food or housing or love, the whole community suffers. And so everybody gives. It's very much like Charles's gift economy idea. That's what it is. And I also came to realize that this economic system we've created that's a failure has only been around the blink of history. It's what we might call a degenerative economy or a death economy. And throughout almost all of our 200 to 250,000 years that we've been human beings on this planet, we've lived a regenerative economy or a life economy, an economic system that does not destroy itself. It's only been within the last few thousand years, and really the last couple of hundred years, and really since World War II, this has really gotten out of hand. In the last decade, it's even gotten more and more out of hand. It's exponential. That we are creating and recreating this death economy, this degenerative economy, an economic system that in essence and in fact is consuming itself into extinction. And it certainly isn't making us happy, and it certainly isn't bringing prosperity to everyone, contrary to what we may constantly want to tell ourselves. But we can move back into that idea of the regenerative, a life economy, and we don't have to go back and live in caves, or we don't have to live like the Shuar in thatch roof houses. But what we do have to do is recognize that we can create an economic system that pays people, that gives people whatever they need and whatever form that we care to give it to them, whether it's through money or through some other form. We can do that by hiring people to clean up pollution. Invest in mining all the plastic that's floating around in the oceans that someone, I think it was Charles again referred to. How do we clean that up? We can do it. And what a great opportunity that is. And restore degenerated, ravaged environments, recycle, and create new technologies that don't require ravaging, that don't require, we've got all the copper and silver and gold and all these other things that we need. We just have to reuse it or not use it at all. And so I think as we look at this idea of prosperity and nature, it's so important to realize that every single one of us comes from a heritage that lived as part of rather than apart from nature. And for many of us, it's been fairly recent, and for everybody, it's been fairly recent, and it's most of human history. So we find ourselves living on a very fragile space station, this beautiful living Earth, and we humans are the pilots. We control where this Earth is going. There's no question about that. And we've done a bad job in recent times. We need to reboot that navigation system. We need to be better pilots, and that involves living within the limits of nature, living with nature, recognizing the deep spirituality of nature. So again, the indigenous people I know, the Shuar, the Echelon, the many that we work with, see sacredness in all. The trees have spirit, the rocks, the rivers, all of it has spirit and soul. And they're all our brothers and sisters. And to truly feel that and live that is a blessing. And it's also absolutely necessary if we want to continue to survive on a planet any one of us will recognize. And I think that's about my time also, Scott, so I'll let it go at that. But just to end by saying, I think we live in blessed times to be having these conversations, to be thinking about these things. And the coronavirus has really pushed us to understand that we really are dealing with a global problem, that everybody and every form of life on this planet is impacted by this tiny microscopic being. Thanks.
John, I'm just so touched by what you just shared and the wisdom. I'm noticing all the comments are saying, oh my God, yes. And thank you. For decades, you've really led the way for us. You've been a very important voice and will continue to be. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to encourage people to go to John's website. It's his name.org, johnperkins.org. And boy, I got to tell you, I like the idea of going to Guatemala with John. I've always wanted to do a Pachamama adventure, but going to Guatemala with John, July 1 to 7, that looks pretty good. Any idea of when the Costa Rica event will happen, John?
No, the Guatemala one we do have on for July 1st, and we're planning one to the Amazon in August. And Costa Rica right now is, I'm scheduled to do one there next January, and I think that'll probably be when the next one will be. But, July is Guatemala with the Mayan shamans. And, again, they deal with the fire. The fire is the spirit, and it's so, so powerful. This the plant spirit of the Amazon, the things like ayahuasca we hear a lot about now. But the Mayans feel that same presence, that same spirit in the fire and in the trees around them. And there's so many ways to feel our connection with nature.
Wow. I would love to do that, and I will definitely remind our audience about it. And let's talk privately about how we can help promote that for you, because that sounds really fantastic. Thank you so much, John. Thank you very much. What a remark! I mean, just these amazing people, huh? Charles Eisenstein and John Perkins, and it's just these beautiful souls. And I want to acknowledge all of you. Thank you so much for what's been going on in the chat box. I'm going to save it and relish it tonight. Thank you, everybody, for your comments, your suggestions, your inspirations. Every one of you is a wonderful cell in the imaginal cell of this new butterfly that's coming out of the dying caterpillar. That's really what I envision as the global peace tribe. So I honor each and every one of you. And we get to go from one great soul to the next. I get to introduce one of my favorite people on the planet. She'll hopefully turn her camera on soon. And I'm talking about Lakshmi Del Sesto. And Lakshmi, there she is. This woman's voice has been inspiring me ever since I first heard it about 15 years ago. She's a remarkable artist, a remarkable human being. She's also an activist. I just want to acknowledge that so much of what Lakshmi sings about is always from the heart. She's an ecstatic multi-instrumentalist, songwriter, and kirtan leader. And I love her kirtan. She's performed at most of the major festivals, including, of course, Harmony Festival, Deborah's festival that she did for so long. But Bhakti Fest, Prana Fest, Wanderlust, Earth Dance, Oregon Country Fair, and so on and so forth. So Lakshmi, thank you so much for being with us tonight. And we're eager to hear what you have to offer.
Hi, great. Thank you for having me. My namesake is Lakshmi. When you see images of Lakshmi, primarily you see her with her hand open and gold coins pouring from her hands. And a lot of times people do pray to Lakshmi for money. But as we are learning through all of our wonderful speakers, abundance is so much more. I myself have prayed to Lakshmi for money as well, but I have learned that I'm constantly being shown different definitions of what abundance is. Her namesake also is the goddess of love, as well as the goddess of wealth, the goddess of beauty, and the goddess of spiritual wealth, because that spiritual foundation is the root of right action. When we're in touch with our deeper nature, we act from a place that is in connection with all living beings. I spent about 6 years being a spiritual nomad, and during that time I wandered in nature and with other humans, and many of these songs came out of that time. And this song is one of them, and I might ask you to join me at some point. And also, music on these events is here to help us kind of like absorb all this intellect. We're going to take it in through this musical vehicle. And so take this opportunity, if you're somewhere that you can, to move your body. Just stretch and move, twist in your chair, do a yoga posture in your chair, skip the chair, get up and do a little dance. This is a movement, sound and movement break. Let it do 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 let it do lay it on. I wanna go down to the river by the water and rest my bones. I want to see the flashing dragonfly remind me of my mystic home. Two goddesses by the river sharing I and I, singing their souls crazy journey from dark to light. I wanna go up to the mountain meadow and rest my bones. I want to hear the wisdom of the ancients speak to me about my mystic home. One goddess by the sacred pool to cleanse and purify. Praying, oh praying to birth a new relationship to I and I. The sacred life is all around. The sacred life is in the up and the down. The sacred life turning me inside out. The sacred life I cannot do without. down, 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 da, da, da. I wanna go all around the world, inside and out. I want to climb the peak of every single mountain top and give a wild shout. Awoo! Okay, this is where I'm gonna enlist your help. From wherever you are in your living rooms, I want you to howl. We're gonna do that line again and then we're gonna howl. I want to climb the peak of every single mountain top and give a wild shout. It's your turn. Awoo! I wanna go deep, I wanna go deep, deep down, deep down, deep down in my soul. I want to know every single solitary part of me that makes the whole. Oh, 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 oh. The sacred life is all around. The sacred life is in the up and the down. The sacred life turning me inside out. The sacred life I cannot do without. My bones in the shelter of my mystic home. I wanna go home. I wanna go home. Shelter from the helter skelter. I wanna go home. This sacred life. Thanks everybody for moving with me.
Oh my God. Thank you so much, Lakshmi. I love this woman so much. She's going to be back. We're going to get another song from Lakshmi, but I do want to let people know that you can find out more about her. Most of you are watching us on Facebook. So just on Facebook, go into your search bar and put in Lakshmi Music, LAKSHMI Music. And that's where you can find out all sorts of good stuff. So go to lakshmimusic.com or Lakshmi Music on Facebook. And she'll be back in about an hour. Yep. Thank you, Lakshmi. Wow. Well, to introduce our next presenter, I'm going to turn it over to I believe Sharaya is going to come and join us. That was the thought, Sharaya. Going to have you introduce.
Hello.
There you are. Hello. Sharaya, tell us all about our next presenter.
I will. And before we get to that, I just wanted to mention part of the reason for the inspiration of Sarasvati also being represented on the show. There's a saying that when you fall in love with Sarasvati, Lakshmi will become jealous and fall in love with you. And so Sarasvati is the goddess who teaches the knowledge and the codes of the universe and how creation actually works and functions, the mathematics and the geometries of creation itself, which of course translates also to music. And so basically what that means is when you study the knowledge of creation, then wealth and well-being and beauty will naturally come to you. And so that's a perfect opening for our beautiful friend Pari, who is from India and the root place of all these beautiful goddesses and these stories. So perhaps she'll comment on this for us in some way. But I also wanted to, let you know a little bit about her. And she is someone who had become enlightened in 1979, and since then has just had 10,000 meditation centers, 20,000 pyramid houses and centers, and 144,000 meditators have been established around the world under Patriji's guidance. Now this is, sorry, I was getting that mixed up. That is about her father. And so her father is Patriji, who has been honored by a Lifetime Achievement Award. And we'll find out more about him on an upcoming show that I'm producing that both of them will be on, called the Pyramid Knowledge Conference. So Pari herself is the co-founder or the founder of the PSSM Global, and she's an award-winning executive spiritual coach, formerly a corporate professional who dared to quit her 9-to-5 job to achieve her dream and empower every single woman to make them self-sufficient. She became financially independent and extremely confident. She's a strong-headed woman who has her heart set on enabling the women of our society. And she believes firmly that if every single woman can work on herself and show up authentic and bold, the world can change. So you can see why, with her deep connection to Patriji and the pyramid village in India, as well as her beautiful willingness to help women and others show up at their best and create wealth, this is why we invited her to this particular show. So it's an honor and a pleasure to introduce you, Pari, and let's hear what you have to say tonight.
Thank you very much, Sharaya. It's such a pleasure to be here. And Lakshmi, that was such an amazing singing. Thank you so much for all the organizers for bringing all of us together. Coming from India, just hearing from you about the story, it was just powerful. And I have a presentation for all of us here, talking about manifesting prosperity in a natural economy. I'm starting my timer right here. So for me, for most of us, when we hear about natural economy, it sounds maybe fictitious as a dream come true or something, an ideal world that should be. But for me, it's pretty different. I'm going to share you guys, instead of teaching about what it is for me, I'm going to share a story with you guys, if that sounds good. So the story is that for me, it is a real story. It was my reality. I grew up in an environment which is of natural economy, and I'll tell you all about that. I'm from India, from South India, called a place called Hyderabad, where I grew up from a very normal, typical middle-class Hindu family, where everything was just ordinary, nothing extraordinary. Where my father, Patriji, he happened to have, there was a walk-in process in him that happened in 1979. And since then, his life and our lives changed. I was born in 82, and since then, he was already in the path of spirituality. He found out that his mission was to teach meditation to the entire world. And that's what he was in a job at that point, but he was teaching meditation to one and everyone. Anybody he found on the streets, his neighbor, his colleague, he would go and start teaching meditation. And the meditation is a breath meditation. It's called Anapanasati, which is a Buddhist meditation. And then since then, he started doing that. And also in the 80s, early 80s, he started reading about Paul Brunton, Bill Schill, Ed Pettit on the books of pyramid power. That's when he got intrigued with the pyramid power. He's a voracious reader. He read about thousands and thousands of books on spiritual science. So that's when he started getting into this, both meditation and pyramid power. And also one of his big passions or big mission in life is to make this planet vegetarian, like removing animal food. So these are his main pillars of the work that he does. So in 1990, we got the first pyramid. The first pyramid was built. I'm going to show you guys the pictures as well. And along this, in 1992, he quit his job. He said, I no longer want to do my job. And he was the only breadwinner. I have a sister, and my mother is a homemaker who supports him. So there's nothing really, there was no income coming in, but he quit his job. And since then, I'm just going to share this in a minute because I want to show you guys the slides. The energy exchange has been, there's nothing that I missed in my life. I did my studying, I did everything around. The key that for me that I see is your mindset, is your abundance mindset, is changing yourself. And that comes with understanding the spiritual science, that we are the creators. We are the ones that are creating our own lives. Everything shifts the abundance mindset shifts when we understand we are not this body, we are the souls. We come from different planets, we come from different star galaxies, and are here to experience this beautiful human form. And when we start understanding that and bring meditation into it, when we start meditating, we connect to this infinite source energy where we do not need to compete with anybody. We do not need to cheat other people to gain money. We do not need to manipulate anybody. All this comes in the form of that understanding. The shift happens, the frequency shift happens. And that's how I started manifesting things like this without even like an effort. It was my natural state of being. I think of having an adventure in my life. I go travel. I travel more than what I saw in my friends at that point who had a regular, normal families who are working and who are getting money. We had food. Somebody came and meditated. They gave us food. They gave us rice. They gave us, lentils. There was somebody coming and they took care of my education. So there was always this energy exchange happened. And it was just amazing to see until I came to US in 2004 and I started surrounding myself with people that who do not believe in this. And I changed myself. And that's when I really, really struggled. Money was a problem. Until then, I'd never had a problem with money. But when I started shifting my belief systems, coming into this more 3D matrix laws of money, things started shifting for me. So I had an awakening and I went back and started. Now I decided that I'm going to teach this to everyone, that we don't have to struggle. We don't have to be in a state and we can elevate ourselves with meditation. And I want to show you, this is the guy I'm talking about. This is my father. He started teaching meditation, pyramid power, plant-based diet. That's are the three core principles of what this society, this movement is about. And these are the pyramids. The left one is a pyramid in Bangalore. This is what the inside looks like. That's a king's chamber. 5,000 people can sit inside and meditate. And the right one is in Hyderabad, where 6,000 people can sit. I'm just going to play a little bit about. Okay, so this is just a drone view. We can play this later. So this is the view, this is the actual pyramid in Hyderabad, where this is solely built for meditation. And why am I showing this? How is it related to prosperity? When we bring spiritual technology onto the earth, our frequency shifts, the mindset shift, the abundance consciousness comes into play, where we no longer have to abide by the laws of money. When we start understanding the laws of energy, the laws of universe, everything shifts for us. We don't have to live in fear anymore. And this is just, I hope the volume will be okay when I play this. This is an event that happens in December 31st, around 11 days in India, where 35,000 people gather to meditate every single day. And all are fed for free. Free breakfast, free lunch, free dinner. There is no money exchange. They are just coming, and everything is done by volunteers. Everything is done by donations. So I just wanted to give you a glimpse of what it looks like. And then we are almost done here. So the thing that he believes is that what Scott and all the organizations, Sharaya, are doing here, that we need to hear from everybody. We need to learn from all the masters. We are the masters. That's the message. And this is just a picture of the movement where we are going into the masses, the villages, the towns, the rural areas, more than the cities, to teach meditation, to empower them to believe in themselves and not get into slavery like in the corporate world. These are all the pyramids, just to give you a glimpse. There are 25,000 pyramids built and counting every single day. And these are just a glimpse of all the pyramids in jails, in schools, in houses, in corporations, everywhere. Things are shifting. People are seeing that. And I hope I'm on time. I know I did very fast, but this is the website, pssmmovement.org and pssmglobal.org, where you can go find more information. And also, if anybody is interested more to learn about this, we offer free courses. We start actually a 40-day course that's starting in April 15th. So with that, I sign off.
Well, wow. Thank you. First of all, let's just all take a breath, because I know there was a lot. And it's incredible because most of our presenters are used to doing 2 or 3 hour workshops, weekend workshops, and we ask them to condense it to 8 minutes. So you only got a homeopathic dose of Paripatri, but you can get more by going to her website, and it's her name, PariPatri.com, paripatri.com. And we will also certainly, when your Sharaya has her big event that she's doing with you, we will definitely promote that. And thank you for what you and your father are doing of bringing meditation, pyramid power, higher consciousness to our planet. Thank you so much, Paripatri, and thank you for being a part of our show tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for having. Thank you.
Absolutely. Wow. Yeah. It's an amazing show, isn't it? And please, really enjoying everybody's comments. So please continue to write in the chat box and know that Deborah and I do go through, usually at the end of the night, and read what you have to say. It means a lot to us. So this is now time for our kind of mid-show announcements, although we are a little bit beyond mid-show. Yeah, thank you very much again, Jay Mayer, Light Touch, Jan for creating the videos. And this is where we really want to thank those of you that have registered. A lot of you have registered tonight. So thank you for registering to join us. And there's still plenty of time. Those of you watching on YouTube or Facebook, come join us. Be part of the Global Peace Tribe. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com and register. And that way we can email you, send you the replays, and send you some really special announcements. For example, we give away to the people that join us these beautiful videos of Andrew Harvey. And so if you register this weekend, on Tuesday, we're going to send out to all the people on our email list the amazing spiritual teachings that he provided just for Saturday Night Live. And I'm really not exaggerating. They're powerful. They blow mind. They are beautiful stories of some of his experiences, but also wisdom of how to make our way through this incredible time we're all living on the planet. So register, get the Andrew Harvey links, get Swami Biandananda, and all sorts of other things. We've got other really fun stuff coming down the pike, including we're beginning to plan live events and even retreats. So you want to be on our email list so we can let you know all that we're doing as we create the ongoing online events and even now live events. I also really want to thank our broadcast partners. You know, we are reaching tens of thousands of people because of Unify and the Sign Network and our good buddy, Alan Steinfeld with New Realities and his YouTube channel. Those three have been so consistent, helping to reach us, our reach out to tens of thousands of people. And if you're watching, John and Summer Raymer, we love you guys so much. And thanks for being on our show last week. And of course, Light Touch is such an incredible way to drop in, connect, pray, and honor our body temple while honoring the universe. We also want to thank our other broadcast partners, newearth1.com, and my company, Love Coach Academy. Also, I'm going to just take a moment as we think about Earth Dance. I want to take a moment to acknowledge that last week, on the same night we were doing Saturday Night Live, Sandra Ray, the co-founder of Earth Dance Global, passed away. And there's been a lot of passages. Somebody reminded me that it was this is also the anniversary of Barbara Marx Hubbard passing away. But as we honor Earth Dance Global, that always presents us on their channel. Blessings to Sandra Ray on her journey back home. All right, and also want to thank our other global partners, Humanities Team, Portal to Ascension, Disclosure Fest, Global Days of Unity, Earthwalk United, and our newest broadcast partner, the Enlightened World Network. And you're going to be meeting Ruth Anderson on one of my Sacred Sunday shows pretty soon. So these are all partners that help to bring this to you. And while I'm talking and while Deborah's talking, register globalpeacetribe.com. It only takes a minute. And now I get to turn it over to my co-host and producing partner, she who makes all things happen as she works tirelessly. Here's Deborah.
Thank you, Scott. And I have a request for you. You know, word of mouth is the most golden. So I'd love for you to share season 5 Saturday Night Alive with your friends, family, and anyone you think that could benefit for this. So we have a really incredible promotional video that has all our keynote speakers and our musicians. I'm going to post that in the chat room, along with the link that allows people to sign up for Saturday Night Live, which is our website, globalpeacetribe.com. And I'd really love for you to share it, because that's how we can get out and spread this light and love and wisdom out all over the world. Also, if you'd like to join us, this is really a collaboration of so many people and so much going on. And that's really the power that the pandemic has given to us now, as we're really connecting virtually and working together in high ways. So if you'd like to volunteer and help us, I'm going to post a link in the chat room where you can sign up and let us know your superpowers and what you think you can do to help us as a volunteer. So I'm going to post that as well. If you'd like to sponsor us, or if you have a superpower of doing social media promotion or anything like that, I'm going to post my email in the chat room, and connect with me and let us know how you'd like to support and come play with us and get your product and service out into the world through our medium of Saturday Night Alive. And then also the last thing is our Pay It Forward link, where you can actually gift someone a subscription and pay whatever donation you like. And we, again, really appreciate your donations. It does take some green juju to make this happen every week. And I'm also going to post our GoFundMe in the chat room, because you can also just directly send your green love to GoFundMe, and that gets to us, and we create these amazing shows and get them right back at you. So thank you for all your love, the high level collaboration of us working together. And Scott and I are crazy enough to continue through the summer, I think, so, and bring new things to you, like the workshops and all kinds of things, because that's just who we are. And we appreciate you all. So thank you.
Thank you. And you know, speaking of appreciation, I'm going to put the spotlight on a couple of people who don't even know I'm going to do this. I'm going to start with the Mystic Abbott. And this, you know, people always say, who's that really cool guy that's like always dancing? And that's Jerry Anderson. And I'm going to put the spotlight on him in a moment. There we go. Thank you, Jerry. I needed you to do that so I could put the spotlight on you. Oh, there we go. Jerry goes back and forth between the United States and San Juan, Puerto Rico, where he has 10,000 acres. And where he is building the Mystic Monastery. And he is one of our new sponsors. You know, he started as a viewer of the show. And one of the times when, you know, Deborah put it out there and said, you know, we're looking for sponsors, he wrote to us, and he's now become family. And then people that have seen us on Saturday Night Live are now going down and joining his team as he builds this incredible Mystic Monastery. So just as Deborah put the call out to you, that's how we grow, that's how we build. So thank you, Jerry. And I'm planning on going down to Puerto Rico at the end of June to be with Jerry for a big kickoff event, and we're going to broadcast live from down there. So it's pretty exciting. Thank you, Jerry. I also want to acknowledge, again, we started this show, and a few months into the show, Jay Mayer emerged, and Jay and his beloved, beautiful partner, Jan, have become family. He's now the executive producer of the show. She's our senior producer. They create the videos that you see, including one I'm about to play, and they do so much for us. So listen, you can all become a part of this family. Another example is she started as a volunteer. This is Debbie Johnston. And she said, yeah, I want to volunteer. And now we've got her working with us as one of our new producers. So we're growing. We've got a lot of big plans. We want to start doing live events. So we want your love and your support and your help. And a big thanks and welcome to Jay and to Jan and to Debbie and to Jerry, all of whom came in watching the show and are now part of the family. So this really works. And along those lines, let's take a look at a wonderful light touch video to remind us about appreciation. So once again, thank you, Jay. Thank you, Light Touch. And now to introduce our next wonderful experience, here's Deborah.
Thank you, Scott. And yes, we get to have another musical journey with Daniel Bellone. He's an incredible channel for light, for healing. He does this all over the world. He was a co-producer of Festival of Light, which has been an amazing production that has just happened this last weekend and this next weekend. And he's going to come on now and continue to raise the vibration of this incredible show tonight. Welcome again, Daniel.
Thank you so much, Deborah. We were just talking about Lakshmi, and there's a beautiful story about the origin of this wealth consciousness, because everyone in this world is trying to grab this goddess. We are all searching for her, and we want to have a direct line to the goddess of prosperity. But in the Indian tales, you say that if you want to find her, you should go directly to Vishnu's abode, because she's always at the feet of her beloved, massaging his feet, his golden lotus feet. Not even for a moment she's able to leave the feet of the divine. So this is the same message that we get in the Bible when we are reminded that whenever you seek the kingdom of God, the heavens, everything is given. All the abundance that we need in this world is given as a result. So let's remember that we are here in this planet for something more meaningful than just surviving. And there's a gift that each one of us has to give to this world. And if you follow your Dharma, the divine Lakshmi will come with Garuda, the big bird, golden eagle, and take you forward in your journey, wherever you are, and whenever you need help, you will get it. So in this spirit, I would like to share a chant for Lakshmi. This is called Mahalakshmi Ashtakam. And this chant was first chanted by god Indra, because there was a sage that cursed all the gods. So all the gods became powerless. So they decided that they were going to churn the oceans of milk, of Amrita, and many beautiful things came out. One of the things was Mahalakshmi. And when the goddess came out of the ocean of Amrita, of the elixir of immortality, Indra chanted this mantra for the first time. So still till today, we use this mantra to invoke the presence of the goddess of fortune in our lives. Namastestu Mahamaye Shripite Surapujite Shankha Chakra Gada Haste Mahalakshmi Namostute. Namaste Garudarude Kola Sura Bhayankari Sarva Papa Hare Devi Mahalakshmi Namostute Amma Amma Mahalakshmi Namostute Sarvagne Sarvavarade Sarvadushta Bhayankari Sarvadukha Hare Devi Mahalakshmi Namostute Siddhi Buddhi Prade Devi Bhukti Mukti Pradayini Mantra Murte Sada Devi Mahalakshmi Namostute Amma Amma Mahalakshmi Namostute Hari Om Amma Mahalakshmi Namostute Adyantarahite Devi Adya Shakti Maheshwari Yoga Jay Yoga Sambhute Mahalakshmi Namostute Stula Sukshma Maharodre Mahashakti Mahodare Mahapapa Hare Devi Mahalakshmi Namostute Amma Amma Mahalakshmi Namostute Hari Om Amma Mahalakshmi Namostute Padma Sanashtite Devi Parabrahma Swarupini Parameshi Jaganmatar Mahalakshmi Namostute Svetam Bharadhare Devi Nanalankara Chite Jagashtite Jaganmatar Mahalakshmi Namostute Amma Amma Mahalakshmi Namostute Hari Om Amma Mahalakshmi Namostute Mahalakshmi Namostute Mahalakshmi Namostute Mahalakshmi Namostute Mahalakshmi Namostute
God bless you, Daniel. Thank you so much. I love that our two musicians are Daniel singing to Lakshmi, and our other musician is Lakshmi Del Sesto. There's something beautiful about that. And you can learn more and get a lot more of Daniel's music by going to his website. And it's easy to remember, it's his name, Daniel Bellone, that's spelled Bellone. And please, let's all support Daniel Bellone. Go to danielbellone.com. You know, this pandemic has been a very challenging time for musicians because so many of the ways they've generated income have been taken away. They haven't been able to play at festivals, clubs, restaurants. So it's really important for us to support our musicians. And Daniel, thank you for not just what you provide to Saturday Night Live, but also the great job you did with the Festival of Light. That was just a terrific, terrific event. And I know how much goes into creating these things. So thank you very much for all that you did, along with Diana Maxwell, in creating that show.
Thank you, Scott and Deborah, for having me here. I love the show. It's such a great honor and opportunity to share mantras here and also get to enjoy the show and all these amazing speakers that inspire us. All my love to all of you, and thank you so much for doing what you do.
And I know Daniel will be back on our show again soon. He's one of our favorites. Thank you, Daniel. That's right. We've got a really wonderful after show scheduled for tonight. And we've actually just added that Paul Draper, our magician extraordinaire, you're going to see him in the main show, but he's also going to do a second act in our after show. So stick around for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Well, what I tell you, Lakshmi comes in many forms of abundance. And I think tonight's abundance has been an abundance of wisdom from so many remarkable teachers. And we have still another one for you. I actually just met Jeff today, to be honest, when we did our sound check. And I am really impressed with this guy. He's a spiritual teacher, and he works as an advisor to love-based businesses. And he is absolutely dedicated to bringing forth a world filled with awakened people, communities, and organizations. He assists people in developing their own source connection and capacity for awakened living. Clearly an earth angel, heard the call, hey, you know what? Humankind is on kind of a precipice. Might be a good time for you to come on down and be in a human body, Jeff. And he did. So thank you, Jeff, for the work you're doing. He works with technologies of higher consciousness. He's a member of the Evolutionary Leaders Circle and the Association of Spiritual Integrity, and he's the co-founder of Enlightening Journeys and Expeditions. Boy, I sure would like to take an expedition with him in the external world, but right now let's take an expedition with Jeff into consciousness. Thank you for being with us, Jeff.
Thank you, Scott, for the super kind introduction, and I am so grateful to be here with all of you tonight. It's a moving and deeply beautiful experience. It's a form of abundance. It's a form of Lakshmi, of prosperity. And there are, as we know, so many forms of true wealth. And I'd like to name a few, and I'd like to invite you to feel the meaning behind the words and the energy, transmission, relationships, sacred places, nature, ecosystems, our source connection, art, music, culture, diversity, spiritual teachings, peace, belonging, and of course, love. And yes, of course, money is included. I would like to honor a few specific gifts of prosperity that are alive for me on this Saturday night. One, this is the birthday of a dear friend and mentor for many of us, a pioneering peace builder, Avon Madison, who co-created Pathways to Peace and helped to establish the United Nations International Day of Peace in the early 1980s. And of course, that has flowered magnificently. And Avon has continued to mentor individuals and organizations, and this is a very, very special birthday for her. I want to acknowledge the land where I am right now. I'm beaming to you from what has been called the Bloodless Valley. This place, the San Luis Valley in Southern California, is where indigenous peoples gathered in the warm months from all around this vast region, and they never fought here. This is a place, a precious place, where there has never been warfare. There has never been a battle here. So the Bloodless Valley has much to offer, and indeed it beams out into the world its transmission. Crestone, Colorado is one place within the San Luis Valley where I happen to be right now. I am in the Sri Aurobindo Learning Center. Some of you will have recognized above my head and presiding over us this evening, Sri Aurobindo and the mother. And both of them have written beautifully about money, wealth, and the evolution of humanity. And these are some of the reasons that I'm drawn here. And I want to acknowledge that Crestone is a place of universal embrace. There are 20 to 25 spiritual community centers with lineage holders, all manner of traditions, and they get along. This is a place of peace. And so I offer to the Peace Tribe tonight all of these beautiful gifts, and I acknowledge you, each and every one of you, for your tireless work to bring forth a world of peace, unity, and thriving for all. And I'm here tonight to say that it's working. Last year was, of course, an interesting year. Early on, maybe it was a year ago, I meditated to listen for what might be in store. There were many gifts, and at the same time, it has to be said, there's been a lot of hardship, a lot of suffering, a lot of death. And that may be part of our initiation, but it's hard and it's painful. And at the same time, I could feel something is coming. And I felt that at the beginning of July, there would be a shift into a new pattern, new ways, maybe very old ways as well, of being and relating to one another. And indeed, I did feel at the beginning of July, something tectonic shifted. And because it was deep, the manifestations would take time. But also because it was deep, everything that was out of alignment with this new pattern would come up for us to see. And clearly that's been the case. I also I felt that November, December would be a time of beautiful new beginnings, little green shoots that we could nourish as a sacred duty to enable them to become the large trees of the new society and thriving society at that. And indeed, we did see great changes. And of course, there have been bumps, there have been twists and turns, ups and downs, and this is natural. Even within a natural economy and natural ecosystems, there are rises and falls. I would say nature has emotions too. And then I felt that this month, there would be something big, possibly magical, probably not cataclysmic, because that's not the direction. This is not a march towards annihilation. We are not descending into a kind of unproductive chaos. No, something is emerging here. If it's chaos, it's creative. So I didn't details until last week. And Easter seemed to be very significant, at least for me this year, but it seems for other people this past week has been a time of immense transformation, healing. I could tell you stories of relationships that have been on the rocks for decades that are quickly healing themselves, and our relationship with nature needs to be one of them and is one of them. Yes, money seems to be moving. It's very interesting. I have clients who are having surprising windfalls, and these are people who know what to do with the abundance. And I will tell you something that's slightly uncomfortable because there's so much evidence to the contrary out there still. And that is, I woke up Thursday morning feeling, oh my God, the kingdom, the queendom of heaven, it's here now. I am abiding in it. And as I looked around and I connected energetically with people I know, I felt it's happening for them too. And even people in New York, not just in Crestone, Colorado, people in California, people in between, and in hopefully lots of other countries. I know for some it's hard, that this is a time when it does not feel like heaven on earth. And I really respect that. And I know we have a lot of work to do, and this community is rising to the occasion. At the same time, I invite us to suspend the disbelief that it, and the belief that it might not be possible. Because in my personal experience, it is. Heaven is now. The promised land is here. The Satya Yuga is here now, and it's actually a state of consciousness. I found a quote the other day in the Gospel of Thomas saying 113, it is not by being waited for that it is going to come. They are not going to say, here it is, or there it is. Rather, the kingdom or queendom is spread out over the earth and people do not see it. Well, that was then. Now, more and more people are seeing it. The signal and the frequency of the healed and transformed world is everywhere. Even if we don't perceive it, it's present. Peace is present, always. And our work is to tune into it and amplify this signal. And we come to the punchline, manifest prosperity in a natural economy, to which I would add, manifest mutually assured thriving. Now, how do we do this? Time may be running out. I apologize, I didn't start my timer. So you can tell me, but I spent 3 years exploring the consciousness of money and learned a lot from an extended deep dive, 21 3-day intensive retreats, 3 online courses, many workshops. Themes emerged, a lot of wisdom and insight. An indigenous man stood up in Australia and said, I see it. Money resonates with the frequency of love, and he let go of 200 years of colonization and oppressive ideas about value and marginalization and deep cultural trauma. So money is not necessarily the root of all evil. In fact, it's not at all. Now, here we can do to manifest mutually assured thriving and shared prosperity in a natural way. Notice the evidence that we are a new reality. And the more we look, the more we see, and the more we see, the more we energize, and the more it grows. We can realize that life is a mirror of our inner state. This is a spiritual teaching. Life shows us where we have work to do. When we change inside, life tends to reflect back to us that we're on the right path, and that manifests in healed communities and ultimately a healed world. We can realize that money is an aspect of life. It's life, energy, and motion. It's delivering experiences. It's not just dollars and pounds and yen and bank balances and abstractions of value. It's super tangible. So being an aspect of life, money is also a powerful teacher. It's a spiritual teacher, I would say, one of the most powerful. So let's trust life when we do. Life reflects back to us that it's trustworthy because there's a non-duality in this mirroring. We are what we see, but we trust proves itself as worthy of our trust.
Beautiful.
And just a few more points and I'd feel it must be time to wrap. Trust money itself, because the essence, energy, and spirit of money is on our side. It is. And we will come to know that. So let's ground deeply in our knowing. Let's stand firmly in the truth of our being and what's ours to do. Let's partner with money and know that we're given much, and that means we have responsibility to be stewards for nature, for one another, and for our own well-being so that we can continue to serve. Please, my friends, take good care of yourselves during these times. We have much work to do. We have much support. So thank you for the opportunity to share a bit of what's been alive for me recently. And namaste.
Oh,
lots of love.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Really beautiful wisdom. And we are a little over time, but I did want to briefly have you tell us a little bit about enlightening journeys, because boy, you look like a wonderful guy to travel with. So just tell us a little bit about what's coming up. And I want to encourage everyone to bookmark enlighteningjourneys.com, his website, Embodying the Transformed World, Awaken Yourself, Heal the World, June and July of this upcoming year, 2021. Jeff, what's that all about?
Okay, well, it's an inner and outer journey. So we had many adventures planned, spiritual adventures last year that couldn't manifest outwardly. So we've been offering courses, and this is the second course that is a deep and delicious dive into embodiment. And when we powerfully embody the truth of our being and love and have an intention for this mutually assured thriving, we can bring that about with astonishing celerity. It can come into our awareness and actual experience very quickly. We've been witnessing that so far, and we look forward to taking it to the next level. So you're all welcome. Please drop us a line.
Great. Thank you so much, Jeff. And I really hope you'll come back on our show another time. You've got so much wisdom that you're sharing. And stick around. We've got some really fun stuff, including Swami Biandananda. So definitely. Hey, before Swami comes on and Deborah introduces him, I want to thank people for donating. We mentioned our GoFundMe, which is a wonderful way people can support us. And a lot of you have been really generous, and a lot of either it's somebody named Mr. Anonymous or Ms. Anonymous, because most of you are coming in on an anonymous way. But I also want to thank dear friends Terry Russo and Iona. I recognize that you almost always contribute to us, both of you. Thank you, James Seymour, Anonymous, Jay Mayer, God bless you, Jay, thank you. Andrea, Michael, Anonymous, Brandy, Roberta, Susan, Constance, Rose, and Anonymous, and Michael. Thank you so much, everybody. And at the end of the show, I'll read anybody else that's donated to us. So thank you so much. And again, you can just go to GoFundMe and then find Global Peace Tribe, or it's actually Support for Global Peace Tribe. And thank you. And to introduce one of our favorite people, here is Deborah.
Thank you, Scott. And yes, it's time to lighten things up, because this is a serious world these days. A lot going on, but humor is so healing. And what I love about this very wise being coming up, Swami Biandananda, is not only is he a spokesperson for the new non-religion fundamentalism, he says that we are strictly non-dominational. And what I love about Swami is there's always woving of truth behind his comedy. So not are you only laughing at his punny lines, there's really some deep truth that has us laugh at ourselves and laugh at our current situation. So with such love, I bring on the master, Swami Biandananda.
Well, thank you very much. What a wonderful program that you've put together, manifesting prosperity in a natural economy. And guess what? You are the perfect example of that. Because a year ago, we were faced with this great dilemma. How do we present ourselves when we cannot travel? And you followed that principle. When faced with a dilemma, make the lemonade. And so there you have it. You have created a wonderful event. I really strongly suggest that people donate to this fine cause, because you've produced so much wealth There is a wealth of wisdom. I appreciate so much what Jeff said about the very, very different kinds of wealth that we have. So please do donate. And I understand, Deborah and Scott, you've guaranteed that all the money that is taken in will be spent in the economy. So that's very, very important. Because right now we need to really shift our focus. We need to shift our focus from taking to giving. Because if we lose the earth, there goes the GDP. So we have to actually restore the planet. I love the saying that David Korten came up with. What we need to create is economic sufficiency and spiritual abundance. Now, you know, we have a whole culture built on pursuing happiness. And I know I've seen people pursue happiness, and many of them look like they ran right past it. They ran right past it. So actually, we need to pursue from happiness. We need to actually initiate happiness as an inner state that we allow to shine out from us, right? If we want to be in the spotlight, the first thing we have to do is light our own spot, because each of us is totally unique, just like everybody else. And each of us has been given a unique gift just for entering. So you're already a winner. And we call these unique gifts works of heart, because really in this, as Jeff said earlier, that really money is love. This is really the flow of love. And we need to focus on the heart, because the heart of the matter is the matter of the heart. The way that we overgrow the current rule of gold is by pursuing the golden rule. And we need an economy that is based on serving the planetary natural ecosystem instead of just the human ecosystem. We are here to regrow the garden and have a heaven of a time doing it. Now, the way that we bring heaven on earth is very, very simple. It may not be easy, but it's simple. And the simple way is to have heaven, again, be something that we're coming from. If we're always bringing heaven with us, then we always have heaven with us. And we have to move from the 4 E's of the toxic, what John Perkins would call death economy: exploitation, extraction, extortion, and extinction, to the 4 C's of the life and love economy: collaboration, cooperation, cultivation, and community, where we create good goods and create greater goodness. Now, you know, everybody was started to talk about money. To answer your question, I have no problems with money. Without money, I still have problems, but no problems with money. And, you know, the spiritual masters for many, many, many millennia have spoken of bringing about a moneyless society. And look how many people have a head start, okay? Now we have these 2 conflicting values. We have abundance and scarcity, or what I call it, abundance and scarcity. Scarcity is the fear of not having enough, so that instead of fruitfully multiplying, we stay fruitlessly divided, scrapping over the scraps. Abundance is where we get up off of our buns, move our assets in rhythm and flow, and dance together to create a world that we all want to live in. We want to release this old needy, greedy. Some are needy, some are greedy, but it is the same fear of not having enough. Now, we will not make headway until we make heartway, because when we get it through our heads that we cannot get it through our hearts or something like that, we have to get it through our heads that we cannot get it through our heads. We only can get it through our hearts. So if you find yourself lost in your head, head for the heart, yes? Now, we do have the system. Let's face it, we have the casino economy that has been ruling everything, the unchecked, unbalanced power of money. We have trickle-down economy. So the wealth is up there, some of it trickles down, and that's why they call the people at the bottom peons. That's what they're called, peons. But we have to make that switch. We have to make that switch from changing our consciousness to the point where we have to create an economy where we are based on the natural world and restoring everything. You know, somebody asked me, how do we improve the overall economy? And I say, you know, it's very simple. We improve the overall economy by having more people wear overalls, right? Because when more people wear overalls, the overall economy worked better. Okay, so under the overalls is this one overall principle that we are here to regrow the garden and have a heaven of a time doing it. That is the foundation. Love the mother, a real economy based on four things, four factors, two of them given by nature and two of them that we humans bring. Nature gives us food from the ground. Nature gives us natural wealth and abundance, manna from the ground. The great agrarian economist, Carl Wilkins, said all new wealth comes from the soil. This is wealth that grows every season. We have wealth manifesting. We need to, a second thing that nature gives us is the energy from the sun. The sun does everything. We need to use our soul power and our solar power. I am so happy to report that right here in Northern California, the start of many, many good things, somebody opened the world's first solar-powered tanning salon. So that's positive news. It's outdoors. And again, we need to bring, as human beings, we bring two things we bring ourselves. We bring love. We bring love of what we are doing. We bring love for ourselves, love for spirit. And that is the flow, the wealth that is coming through this program that Scott and Deborah have been doing for a year now. These are very, very, very powerful things. So we have to look at what is the thing that is powerful that we can use. If we want to be able to be fruitful and multiply, as I said, we cannot be fruitlessly divided. Now, again, two things are happening simultaneously. As somebody mentioned earlier, we have the caterpillar falling apart and the butterfly coming together. We have the deconstruction of a system like the caterpillar that consumes 26,000 times its own weight in the course of its lifetime. We've had a consumer system that is now falling apart from its own weight. And the new imaginal cells of the butterfly are coming together. And this is, again, the peace tribe, the global peace tribe and the global love tribe. So I have come up with a mantra. And the mantra is this. Let's face it, the system is going down, but love is coming up. We're all in the same boat. The Titanic is sinking, and the love boat is the lifeboat, and the lifeboat is the love boat. Thank you very much. Swami Biandananda here saying namaste and namasko. Bye.
Thank you so much, Swami. And I want to thank our friend Steve Berman, who's got a lot to do with Swami as well.
Yeah, he's never here. I never see him.
He's awesome. Well, maybe someday Swami can channel Steve.
I think I will do that sometime. Thank you. I'll take my turban off and do it that way.
Well, you can get a lot more by going to this wonderful website. And I want to acknowledge that we really enjoyed having Swami. We did a special evening, the State of the Union address with Swami, just on April Fool's Day, April 1st. So for more about Swami and Steve, go to wikipolitiki.com/about the great upswing. And Deborah
upwising.
Upwising. That's, thank you.
Wising. Yes, we're wising up.
We are wising
and
up.
It's a state of the universe. We don't need the union. The universe. State of the universe.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much for catching that on my Swami. Oh my gosh. Well, what a show, huh? And I'm just so appreciating how the wisdom comes to us through comedy, through music, and through amazing speakers. And we actually have another incredible speaker for you. She was actually on our second Saturday Night Live. And I remember when Deborah said, great news, Lynn Twist is going to come and be on the show. It was just like, wow, it was like lifting us up to another level. And it just keeps graduating as we've added more and more amazing speakers. She's been on our show 3 or 4 times. One of my favorite things is Lynn even said, you know what, Scott, I watch your show even when I'm not on it. So that's one of the greatest compliments we've gotten. Lynn wasn't available to be with us live tonight, but she was very, very gracious in recording an amazing talk with us about this topic. So I invite you to really kick back and get ready for some powerful wisdom from the woman who wrote The Soul of Money. Here is Lynn Twist. Lynn, thank you so much for joining us. And of course, you've been on the show a few times talking about the environment, but this time we want to talk to you about the soul of money and manifesting, especially in these current times.
Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts that come to mind?
Well, what I think I'll start with is saying that the Soul of Money title of the book, The Soul of Money, and my small institute, sort of sounds like I think money has a soul. And what I really want to convey is that we have a soul, and money is our invention. We created it 4,500 years ago as a society-wide tool to facilitate the sharing of goods and resources so that everyone everywhere would have what they needed and wanted. That was the original purpose of money. And it was a soulful invention. But money itself doesn't have soul. We give it soul with how we use it, how we receive it, how we hold it. And it's become a little soulless in our society. In fact, we've sold our soul for money, many of us. And if you feel that I'm accusing you of that, anybody who's listening, I'm accusing us as a culture of doing that. And the culture is very, very, very powerful, the culture of money. So it's not your personal rainstorm if you're anxious about money and upset about money, or feel wounded about money, or feel like you've made some wrong decisions about money. It's not your personal rainstorm. That rainstorm's raining on everybody else too. In fact, one of the great privileges I have is working with some of the wealthiest families in our country, in our world, and they too are in some sort of scarcity mentality about money. You would think after several million or hundreds of millions or several $1 billion or many billions of dollars, you wouldn't have a scarcity mindset anywhere near you about money, but people still do, because it's the water we're swimming in. It's not you, it's not me, it's the culture we live in. So what the Soul of Money Institute does, and what hopefully my book does, and what I'd like to do now, is let people know that we have a culture that's put money in the foreground and our humanity in the background. It's put money, made money more important than the environment, more important than human life, more important than spirit or God. Our culture's done that. So it's confusing to live in a culture where we know that's not true, where we know that nothing's more important than human life, nothing's more important than the natural world, and that we, even though we take actions in this culture, all of us, that are consistent with making money more important than the natural world or more important than human life, it's not consistent with who we are. So the suffering around money comes from that lie, not from you being bad or wrong or making terrible mistakes around money. All of that, yes, maybe starts to haunt all of us, but it's really because the culture's in a whole network of promises that'll never be kept around this thing called money. And when we put money in the background and our humanity in the foreground, we put our fear in the background and anxiety in the background, and our love for nature, for one another, for being of service, making a difference with our life in the foreground, things start to flow, including money. Prosperity, the word prosperity, is about well-being. It's not necessarily tied only to money, although money can be very helpful with well-being. But prosperity is really thriving in your own life, knowing who you are, the work that's done every Saturday night with you, Scott, and all the people who put on that wonderful program. And so if you put your focus there, and you know that appreciating your life, being grateful for your life, grateful for your relationships, and then having money be useful in fostering and fomenting that expression of your humanity, then you'll realize that you have enough money rather than thinking you don't have enough. That mindset, even though, it's very, very real. I understand that, particularly during the pandemic. But what I can help you with is the mindset that has you and I and all of us be suffering in our relationship with money rather than appreciating whatever money we have and using it in a way that's consistent with our humanity. That allows you to prosper. The term well-being comes really from the well of being that is infinite in every life. And that's the true source of wealth. Even the word wealth comes from the origin of the word wealth is well-being. So nourishing your own well-being and the well of being in other people in a way that allows financial resources to flow through our life and then to where they're needed most is the kind of economy, is the kind of future, is the kind of present that will have us be in touch with our natural prosperity. And when we're in touch with that, then what you appreciate appreciates. What you give gratitude for grows, and what you put your attention on flows. So those are just some of my words about our relationship with money and prosperity.
That's beautiful. And I'm really hearing the importance of focusing on gratitude and what we have, as opposed to focusing on deficiency and where we have scarcity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a wonderful principle that I like to make sure people know, and I call it the principle of sufficiency. And that is, if you let go of trying to get more of what you don't really need, which is what we're kind of brainwashed to want more of by advertising and marketing and the money culture. If you let go of trying to get more of what you don't really need, it frees up oceans of energy all tied up in that chase to turn and pay attention to what you already have. When you pay attention to what you already have, when you nourish what you already have, when you love what you already have, and when you share what you already have, a miracle occurs. What you already have expands. What you already have expands. That's the principle of sufficiency, not the principle of abundance, the principle of sufficiency, the exquisite experience of knowing that you have enough, you are enough, and you live in a world where there is enough, and then all you want to do is share. So that's a principle I wanted to also state.
Oh my God, beautiful. I mean, those are like affirmations. I have enough, there is enough, I share what I have. Right here. You know, you've had one of the unique combinations of knowing people that are very wealthy and being down in South America with your work with Pachamama. I'm curious what you've personally learned from that incredible diversity of culture.
Well, I also worked for the Hunger Project for many years, for half of my life, really, and now in the Amazon rainforest. So when I worked for the Hunger Project, I spent a lot of time with people in conditions of hunger and abject poverty. And one of the reasons I say what I'm saying now to you, Scott, is that I learned from those people, the people who often we're sort of brainwashed to feel sorry for, that they're not poor. In fact, when we call them poor, we demean not only them, but we demean ourselves because we can't see who they are. Circumstances of poverty and hunger and war and oppression are terrible. I don't wish that on anyone. However, what happens in those circumstances is that the circumstances are poor, but the people in them are not poor. In fact, sometimes they're the strongest, most resilient, most creative people I've ever known. They may not know how to read and write because they never had that opportunity, but their creative skills, their love for their family, their resilience, their capacity to call on their inner strength, since that's in many cases all they have, is super inspiring. So I have learned a great deal from people that I used to call poor, that I now would never call poor any longer. What's poor is their circumstances, not them. And in the Amazon, I'll say, I've learned from indigenous people who are very much in tune with this distinction of enough. Now, in a consumer culture, a culture that promotes scarcity, the experience of enough is almost not possible. You don't even know that it happened. You go from not having enough to wanting more, and there's no moment where you actually realize, oh, I have enough. And enough is not even an amount of anything. It's not halfway between not enough or and way more than you need. It's a way of being in the world. And the indigenous peoples of the Amazon that we work with are living in absolute, total, radical contentment and sufficiency. They're not living off the forest or from the forest or even in the forest. They are from the forest. They are of the forest. The forest is who they are. So they're always in absolute, total contentment and enoughness. They never take more than they need. They can't even imagine doing that. If someone takes more than they need, they send them to the shaman. They think they're mentally ill because they are in total communion with the universe. There's so much to learn from them. Another thing that I'll also say, that for them, the ethic that's the highest is the good of the community. And then individuals thrive within the wholeness, the thriving, the health and well-being of the community. We in the modern world often individuate so much that we individuate at the expense of the community. They don't individuate like that. They're devoted to the health and well-being of the entire community, which ends up taking care of you. But you don't do it for that reason. You do it because of Ubuntu, like in South Africa. It is, I am because you are. So those two ways of being I have learned from people in conditions of hunger and poverty, and also people in the rainforest. And from people of enormous wealth, I've learned that it's not all it cracks up to be. It's as any dysfunction that's in your life gets exacerbated and amplified by great wealth, it doesn't resolve it. So as wonderful as some of those people are, they have their problems too, and their problems are amplified by the wealth rather than resolved by them. So those are the lessons from those three populations that I have to share.
Lynn, thank you so much. That was the quickest 11 minutes of my life. Thank you so much.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Wow. I mean, what a blessing to have that incredible wisdom. You know, this is one of those shows that I want to invite everybody. You know, you can go to Global Peace Tribe page on Facebook or the Love Coach Academy page on Facebook and save the recording. Share this with other people. And all of you will be getting a replay on Monday. Deborah sends it out every Monday. And that's a great, because this is really one of our best shows. So much wisdom, and yet the music and the comedy really mixing it up quite beautifully. And I'm certainly learning a lot. Of course, I've seen that video because I was there, and then I've watched it twice. And it's just, I want to just take in the wisdom that Lynn and John and Jeff and the others have shared with us. So there's more. And to tell us what's next, here's Deborah.
Yes, thank you, Scott. And yes, now we get to ground all that wisdom from Lakshmi, our amazing songstress that's with us tonight, a very deep soul sister in our community. I totally love her music. She has been around the world on festivals sharing her creativity and her songs and her beauty, and I just love her so much. Thank you for being with us, Lakshmi, with such an important and appropriate name for this show, and let us raise the vibration again with all that we've been gifted from this wisdom with your beautiful music.
Thank you, Deborah. I'm so honored to be here, honestly, with some of my favorite speakers and hearts and minds, and Lynn Twist is certainly one of them. I learned from her about 10 years ago through her book, The Soul of Money, about the principle of sufficiency and the energy of enough, and how this energy of sufficiency and enough is truly a form of abundance. Often in my mind, when I think of abundance, I imagine a rainforest, so in alignment with what Lynn was saying too. I feel like the rainforest has everything. It provides so much abundance. It has fresh air and clean water. It has all the herbs we could possibly need to heal medicines, food dripping from the trees, and negative ions from the running water. Everything for a human to feel abundant in this concept of enoughness. So I want to sing this Hawaiian song. I lived on the Hawaiian Islands when I was 16 and a few other times. I remember days when we were younger. We used to catch our opu in the mountain stream. Round the Kolau hills we'd ride on horseback. So long ago it seems it was a dream. Last night I dreamt I was returning, and my heart called out to you. But I fear you won't be as I left you. Meke aloha ku'uhome o ka'alu'u. I remember days when we were wiser, when our world was small enough for dreams. And you have lingered there, my brother, and I no longer can, it seems. Last night I dreamt I was returning, and my heart called out to you. But I fear you won't be as I left you. Meke aloha ku'uhome o ka'alu'u. Change is a strange thing, it cannot be denied. It can help you find yourself or make you lose your pride. Move with it slowly as on the road we go. Please do not hold on to me, we all must go alone. I remember days when we were smiling, when we laughed and sang the whole night long. And I will greet you as I find you, with the sharing of a brand new song. Last night I dreamt I was returning, and my heart called out to you. But I fear you won't be as I left you. Meke aloha ku'uhome o ka'alu'u. Meke aloha ku'uhome o ka'alu'u. Meke aloha ku'uhome o
Oh, thank you so much, Lakshmi. There are many ways to find Lakshmi because she's all over our community. She's beloved by many. I know she's rebuilding it, but if you go to lakshmidevi.com, that'll forward you to her Lakshmi music page. So that's one way to find out more. Again, lakshmidevi.com. And another way that a wonderful part of our community is the Holy Love Institute. And no, not anymore. That doesn't.
It exists, yes,
It
absolutely.
does exist, yes, yes. Okay, you were shaking your head. I thought, I'm making a mistake here. So if we go to holyloveinstitute.com and click on their teachers, you can find Lakshmi there as well. So she's truly a beloved member of our community. And thank you so much, Lakshmi, for being on the show tonight and being on my Easter show last Sunday.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a great pleasure and an honor.
Well, I know you'll be back again. Thank you. All right, and now it's time for the Global Peace Tribe Recommends. We always start that off with a fun Jay Mayer video.
And this is a time of the show where we get to share some really important resources, especially those that are now available because of all the online programming that's available and that's sprung up over this last year. And one thing we want to share with you is that Thrive 2 movie is going to be available for free on April 23rd through May 3rd. And if you haven't seen the second Thrive movie, it's really a must-see. Thrive 2, This Is What It Takes. It really brings behind the scenes with the people and the inventions that now have the power to transform our lives. And abundance is really being receptive also to the incredible inventions, new technologies, and the potent solutions in energy, health, consciousness, and all kinds of self-organizing. And Foster Gamble and his incredible wife, Kimberly Gamble, have gone around the world and really found these solutions that are available now. And this movie is about bringing them out. So they want to get this movie, everyone to see it. So they're making it available for free. I'm going to post in the chat room now how you can sign up. And they also have a lot of incredible weekly programs of new paradigm realities on technology, on new ways of being with incredible speakers. So you can go to the link there that we've posted to sign up for the movie and everything else they have. So we really honor Foster Gamble and Kimberly Gamble for their incredible work. And if you haven't seen the first Thrive movie, This Is What It Takes, the first Thrive movie is What on Earth Will It Take? That one also is a must-see. And you can get all that by going to the link in the chat room that I'm posting now. And Scott has a few more things to share with you.
I do. One of the things that I've been doing, I also started several shows a year ago, not knowing this was going to last so long. So in addition to this show, every Friday night, I have a show called Straight Talk that I collaborate with my teaching partner, Trish Wright on. And every Sunday morning, tomorrow morning, I do my Sacred Sunday show. And I really want to invite you to participate in what we've got planned coming up. Because almost always I take people that I've met through Saturday Night Alive or people that I really want to go deeper with. And just about every person I've seen tonight, I've got, I got to have them on Straight Talk. I've got to ask them to be on Sacred Sunday so we can go deeper. And tomorrow morning is a perfect example of that. A few months ago, we had Cynthia Tina on our show on Saturday Night Alive, and she's traveled all over the world. She's the co-director of the Foundation for Intentional Community. So she traveled all over the world and visited all these different intentional communities, shot photos, video. And so she's my exclusive guest tomorrow morning. And she's going to really take us on a trip around the world. And I know that a lot of you are interested in intentional community. Of course, I think a lot of you might end up at the Mystic Abbots intentional community in San Juan, Puerto Rico. So tomorrow morning, please join us. And Cynthia's a delight. You'll really enjoy meeting her. And so really want to encourage you to come join us tomorrow morning. Sacred Sunday show, 10 a.m. Pacific time. And Deborah's putting the link into the chat room. Thank you for that, Deborah. And one of our favorite speakers on Saturday Night Live, and I want to acknowledge that I met her through Deborah, and she's been on Saturday Night Live several times. She's been on Street Talk before, and she's going to be on again. I'm talking about Elizabeth April, and she is a dynamic voice. And she has a brand new book that just came out called You're Not Dying, You're Just Waking Up. What a great title, huh? How many of us have felt like, oh my God, I'm dying, my life is dying. Now I think our whole planet's waking up. And so next Friday night on my Straight Talk show at 7 o'clock Pacific time, Trish and I are going to spend a good 60 to 90 minutes just with Elizabeth April diving deep. So please do join us for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Elizabeth is a hoot and very wise and quite an important voice. And then the last thing I want to share, and I just, Fantuzzi, is how this all started. Before the pandemic, Deborah was going to host a live benefit concert with Fantuzzi. The pandemic came along. She realized she had to switch to being online. She asked me if I'd help out. And that's how Saturday Night Alive started. I've since done several rainbow concert gatherings with Fantuzzi, and we just agreed to do another one, and it's going to be on Thursday night, April 22nd. So mark it in your calendars, Thursday night, April 22nd, from 6 to 9 p.m. Pacific time, same time as Saturday Night Alive, but different night, Thursday. And Fantuzzi and many of his friends, and he always has people like Joy Levi and other amazing musicians that join him for our online rainbow gathering. And we're going to be celebrating Fantuzzi's new single, Dos Alas. So definitely join us on Thursday night, April 22nd. It's going to be a lot of fun and very, very cool. Amazing. Just so many remarkable things going on online. And it's really fun for us to be able to share those with you. And we've had wisdom through music, wisdom through speakers. We've had wisdom through comedy. And now we get to have wisdom through magic. You know, whenever we have an important topic, you know, we have a lot of magicians who we work with. But when we've got an important topic, I go, oh no, this is a Paul Draper show. Because Paul, God bless him, finds a way to connect his magic to our topics. And as I put the spotlight on Paul, I also want everybody to take a breath and just appreciate this guy every day since March 20th, 2020. Over a year, every day, he's done at least one benefit show for underprivileged children, youth, senior citizens, people that are struggling. Every day, he has not missed a day. He's done a free show for somebody or a lot of somebody's in need. So God bless you, Paul. You're a good man.
Yeah, and if anybody in the audience here, if you have a Title I school, a homeless shelter, a women's shelter, anybody who needs magic that have lost family members from the pandemic, I will do a free show for them, one show a day. We just have to find a day that's booked out and I'll do it. So you can write me at paul@pauldraper.com. But the background, I grew up on a little teeny farm, a little family farm that was in my family for multiple generations. We had a couple of cows, and this is a milk bottle, a reusable milk bottle. We used to deliver milk to people's houses. I remember when I was very little, one of the first things I learned to do was go out every morning and milk the cows and learn how to make music, right, with a milk bucket. My grandmother had a great story. She also grew up on this little farm. She said that when she was a little girl, she saw the aspen leaves changing color, and she saw them, they're round like silver dollars, and they're green like cash. And she said, if only, she grew up during the Depression, she said, if only I could pick those leaves and give them to my father, then we'll get through this depression and we'll be fine. Because you know the old saying, money grows on trees. And just like that, you reach up and you grab, I don't know if any of you are old enough to remember, that's an Eisenhower dollar right there. You grab a dollar and another and another. They just grow on trees right there, and another, until you start to have a little bit of money. This was her dream, that maybe she could get enough money off those trees to keep her family safe through the pandemic, through the depression, through any bad thing that happened, a little bit of real money. And she took all of that, all of those leaves into her father. And her father said, yes, Ruthie, yes, you are saving the family with that money right there. And he poured out all the leaves onto his lap, and he said, thank you, sweet Sisty, Ruthie, for making this happen for all of us. Of course, that money wasn't real money, it was just aspen leaves. But he knew that what was really important was that they were a family, that they had ground and that they were growing vegetables and fruits, taking care of their animals and giving them love, and they had enough, and they got through that pandemic. All of us, I mean, we're human. We're human. This is a box. I don't know if you can see the color well. That's navy blue right there. All of us, if you're a Star Trek fan like I was growing up, there was a character named Q on The Next Generation. And he said, you humans, you're just big bags of mostly water. That's true. We're 80% water and a little bit of carbon. So make sure to drink enough water or you'll be in trouble. But inside that 80% water, we have a bright light. We have a bright light that is our core. We have a bright light that is who we are on the inside. And we all know that. But not all of us know that we can allow that bright light to shine, like one of the speakers who comes on here regularly is so famous for saying. We don't have to hide that bright light as a small, tiny little, minuscule part inside of us. No, the truth is our corporeal being, that water and that little bit of charcoal, right? That is the little piece inside of us. The big piece is that bright light that we manifest and shine and give to the rest of the world. It seems so impossible until you see it done. And so everyone out there, here, let me have a slight change of scenery. I'll move the table over here just a little bit. So everyone, I implore you, I was in trouble at the start of this pandemic. At the start of the pandemic, I was performing at Disneyland, and they shut down the park, and I had $500 to my name. And I drove to the dentist with my girlfriend who needed some dental work done, and they needed $400. And I cried and said, I can't do it. And I decided to start giving myself away to do these free shows. And from those free shows came enough money, came enough for all of us to have what we needed. Here are 3 coins. Watch, I'll make this one jump from there to there, from there to there. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh no, it jumped over there. We don't know where it's going to come from. We don't know where it's going to go. We just know that if we open ourselves up to make it possible, it disappeared. Should I be stressed? Should I be worried? Should I be frightened? Should I cry? Here, don't worry, I'll put it right back over here. So now I have 2. Now I have 2 solid coins right there. 2 coins. From 2 coins I have 1. From one I have none. But don't worry, if we give ourselves away and we love the world, it will come back to us and we will be able to have enough. I've had enough. In truth, if you're honest, you've had enough. Keep giving yourself away and it'll be there. Thanks for letting me share a little of my magic and prosperity with you.
Oh, Paul, thank you so much. You're just fantastic. And listen, everybody, stick around for the after show because Paul's going to do a little bit more for us. And
PaulDraper.com.
PaulDraper.com. Yeah, it's not on your postcard here, partner. I just realized that.
PaulDraper.com.
PaulDraper.com is the place to be. Oh, thank you, Paul. Thank you so much. And really, everybody stick around. He's got more for us coming up, all right? And actually, we are actually into the final part of the main show, but want to remind you that, let me come back to me and to Deborah. We're going to kind of say our goodnights for the official main part of the show, but the after show is coming up. And this is a new feature, and we're playing with it, doing different things. Tonight for our after show, we've got Fanny Starlight. Now, Fanny Starchild, I apologize, Fanny Starchild and her amazing partner. They're going to be playing music for us. We're going to do some prayer and some light touch with Jay Mayer and magic with Paul. So stay right tuned in. Don't go away. But to say goodnight for the main part of our show, I'm going to just let Deborah take it away.
Thank you, Scott. And I want to thank everyone so much for this incredible show. This is really such important wisdom for our times. And thank you, Sharaya, for bringing all this together. And thank you for our presenters. Thank you for our sponsors. Thank you for the donations that came in. And thank you for all the love. That's really the abundance that we're sharing on this show, is the love, the connection, the collaboration, the high consciousness, the wisdom that all of us share together. And we all raise each other up. So much gratitude. And thank you to you too, as well, Scott, for all that you do. Thank you all.
God bless you. And let me tell you, everybody, Deborah works so hard to make this show happen. So big blessings to you. She gets up at about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning every day, does her meditation prayer, and then dives into the work that needs to be done. So on a Saturday night by 9 o'clock, she's been up for a long, long time. So thank you, Deborah, for...
It's all worth it.
It is. It is. All right. It's time for the after show. Yeah. So tonight we've got a few things happening. We're going to have 2 musical pieces by Fanny Starchild, and we're going to have a prayer for peace and some meditation with Jay Mayer and some light touch, another song, and we're also going to have some magic. Actually, we'll do music, meditation, magic, and then we'll close with music. So I'm really excited that we've got Fanny back. She's been on our show before. And hey, you two, you look gorgeous.
Hey, great to be here.
Great colors, fantastic. Are you guys ready to get us going with a little music?
Oh, yeah. Yes, we chose a groovy one for you because that's what you requested, a groovy, uplifting. So here it is. It's going to be fun, and I hope you dance.
All right, fantastic.
And it's called I Find Myself in Love. I find myself in loving you. So you can sing along with us too, all right? That would be fun. Everybody ready? Here we are. You ready for us?
We are, absolutely.
Here we go.
Find myself in love.
I find myself in loving
Oh, you guys are great.
Thank
Just
you.
fantastic. And I love that bass that you were giving us for Gary. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nice little bass solo in there.
Yeah. Well, such
And
an
I
honor to
want
be
to,
on this show.
you know how good you guys are. I want to acknowledge that the Mystic Abbot, who's way on the East Coast, I'm going to put the spotlight on him, and Gwyneth Bridge, who's also in Nashville, way out there. They're like on East Coast time where it's after midnight, and they're grooving and rocking away to your music. So that's always a good sign.
We're humbled.
Oh, well,
Thank
you
you
guys
much.
rock. Hey, they've got a few websites they're going to show tonight. And tell us about this first one, your mystical harp music. You can find it, by the way, everybody, at starchild.ca. Just go to starchild.ca. But tell us a little bit about what Starchild Entertainment's all about.
Well, actually, for 25 years, we've done children entertainment. And that's what we've done, shining the light and sharing the light with the most beautiful human beings on earth, all the children for 25 years. So that's mostly our website, to see all the love we share, the light. And it was an extraordinary life. It's just so magical, so wonderful to have lived that. And then the lockdown, no more party, it's over. So we had to recreate ourselves. And we started to do more mystical music here at home in our home studio. And I started just to play the harp. And then here we are playing our crystal bowls and doing harp music. And in the past, we also had a reggae band. We did our CD, Liberté, that you can see. We did it in French. We did a double. One in English, one is French. It's mostly world music, Gary produced. He produced a CD. It's all original, so it was mostly dance with a positive message. And now we're on to doing mystic music. So our next song will be more mystical, more mellow, called We Are Messengers of the Stars. So on the website, we have all these different aspects of who Starchild Entertainment is, the two of us for 30 years over that we are together.
Fantastic. Well, they're going to lead us in a little bit. We're going to have some meditation with Jay, a little magic with Paul, and then they're going to lead us on a kind of a concluding musical journey in just a few minutes. So stick around and thank you, you guys. Love you guys so much.
Thank you.
I am putting the spotlight on Mr. Mayor. Hey, Jay, how's the show been for you tonight? Are you muted, buddy?
It's educational and it's fun and it's spiritual, so that's a good place to start. I like that it's so eclectic and has thought leaders. This planet needs thought leaders, and that is really the hope for the future, because we're coming out of a draconian age, and this new age is with the advanced Aquarian thinkers, where it's an us consciousness, and it's not us and them, it's us. So it's really important. And one of our practices with light touch is we bless each other. We have a group and we all bless each other, and that adds quantumly. I like to use feathers because feathers, who doesn't love feathers? And it's a good way to actually activate your electromagnetic field in your bodies. It's why it's called light touch. And since we're the global peace tribe, it's really important, that we really can be the peace leaders in the whole planet. And that's the goal of this, is to grow and to reach more and more people with our positive message that the earth can endure, forever, and we can get better, and we'll find things in space. Helium-3, it's on the moon. Like even an ounce of it's cost $1 million here, and on the moon they're going to bring it back, power whole cities with just a little bit of helium-3. So I'd like to pray for abundance for everyone here, and anyone who would like to, you can make a connection however you like to with yourself. You can touch, the hair on the back of your neck. There's a little tingle there. Your clothing, touching your body, a little tingle. That tingle is magical. It's there all the time, and it's one of those places where the angels recognize that tingle. The indwelling spirit recognizes it as a place where positive messages can flow to the self. So we thank you for blessing everyone here with your best blessings. And we just circulate it around, so hundreds of people are circulating blessings to each other and to our needs. If we see people in our minds that need help, we let those blessings go to them and keep increasing in power. And every night from 7:30 to 9 o'clock is like a moment for peace, Pacific time. Anyone can just think peace in the world, and divine love over our finances. That's a beautiful meditation for divine love over everyone's finances here. And may we receive the gift of divine love and exponential financial blessings, which is, not having to worry month to month. That's the beginning of exponential, is that, you can cruise for a year and travel and give to those less fortunate. So that's the real key to abundance is, the richest people are oftentimes philanthropists. So, thank you for blessing this meditation. We feel everyone with their hearts and their souls and their light, inner light. We all bless each other. This is going to be like the best of times. And we can do this every day. So you can contact me at light-touch.me, and would love to hear from you. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Jay. And thank you, Jan, his wonderful partner, and our mystic abbot all the way. Goes back and forth between Puerto Rico and, of course, Guinevere, also our Saraswati representing that. And I also just wanted to bring up briefly, there's one of the many thousands of images of Lakshmi, beautiful, beautiful Lakshmi. All right, Mr. Paul Draper, if you can hear me, please turn on your camera because it's your time, buddy.
It's my time. I get to play again? Okay, so I've got a book. With pictures of rockets, because rockets are awesome. We were just talking about rockets and going to space. Jay, you inspired me. We're going to bring it down from space and help people. Now look, this is a history of rockets. There's the bumper rocket. You remember that one from the US? The Mercury, the Soyuz, that's when the Russians came in and took over, right? The Saturn V, the Houston rockets, they count, they're rockets. There's the booster rocket, the shuttle right there, all the Johnny Rockets, delicious, unless you're a vegan. Do they do vegan? Do they have a vegan burger? Okay, the Falcon, the Rockets, my favorite. Now, the fun thing is in space, there's no up, there's no down. Everything's all right. No matter what you do, it's all right, no matter where we go. And just like that, the rockets are always upright. There's the bumper, there's the Mercury, all of them are still flying right up into space, just like that. Now, what's really weird, you can turn it completely on its side like this. You can see the picture on the front is going down, but inside, they're all going the correct way, just like that. All of them shooting straight up. We are all going the right way together. All of us the right way together. So it's so fun to get to come on and share magic each time. Do we have somebody in the audience who doesn't know me that be willing to play? Anybody willing to play?
I'm suggesting the Mystic Abbot. He raised his hand.
The Mystic Abbot? Hello, Mystic Abbot. I didn't see your talk. What do you do?
I'm just journeying along with the journey every day.
Oh, that's so cool. Okay, I have a prediction here. We're going to do a couple of predictions. I have a prediction in here. I have a prediction written on the back of this envelope, but we're going to get to that in a second. I have a bunch of numbers written on cards. Some are right side out, some are back side, some are upside down, all mixed up, not in order. I want you to name a number 1 to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6.
3.
3. Because there's number 2, and there's number 6, and there's number 5, and there's number 1. That's number 4, and right here is number 3, which is the only red card. And I said there was a prediction on the back of this envelope which says, you will choose the red card. You did such a great job. I'm so glad you chose that. Now we're going to take it a step further. We're going to do it with an entire deck of cards. So I want you to imagine I have a deck of cards. I'm going to pull out half. Did I pull out the red half or the black half?
Red.
Absolutely right. You're following along. Now I'm going to take, and I'm only going to use either the hearts or the diamonds. Which do I use?
Hearts.
You are so good at this. Now I'm only going to use the face cards or the number cards. Which ones?
Queen.
The Queen of Hearts. The Queen of Hearts. Now, I want to point out there is a Mad Hatter's hat, a rabbit with a watch, a rose bush with one red rose. You weren't influenced by the Queen of Hearts at all, were you? Right here, one card only, your card. Give a round of applause. Great job, Psychic. Yay! Okay, I'll come back and do some more magic next time, but thanks for letting me share with all of you. And also, I just won from the group that I just did the show for. I just won 8 tickets on round trip tickets on JetBlue at their auction. I paid more than market value, but I have airplane tickets now. Bye, everybody.
Oh, Paul, you are such a beautiful guy. I love this guy. And you know you'll see him again on our show. And you can learn all about, listen, hire this guy. If you're having a party, an online party, a corporate event, a training, get Paul Draper to come and do magic for you.
PaulDraper.com.
PaulDraper.com, or call me and I will give you his phone number. He is the best. Absolutely fantastic. So thank you, Paul. Wow. How does he do that? Pulling the Queen of Hearts out of his pocket? How does he do that? There's 52 freaking cards. I don't know. It's amazing. I think it's because I connected him with the Mystic Abbot. I think Jerry's got good karma. Good karma. Anyway, karma. That's a good karma. All right. Well, I've got it on gallery review because these are all the people that have stuck with us. Jeff, welcome to Saturday Night Alive. We did not know thee before, this week, and I'm really glad you're still with us. It seems like you're having a good time.
Yes, thank you.
It's really fun. So thank you, everybody. We're going to wrap up with Vigari and Fanny, and tell us a little bit about what you guys got planned for our final experience here tonight.
Yeah, this song is called Crystal Light.
We are the messengers of the stars. It is who we are.
All right, and stick around, everybody that's on gallery view, because I'm gonna have you move and groove to the music, and I'll pop you on camera too. Take it away, Vigari and Fanny.
des rêveurs, on est le rêve. We are reawakening, we are remembering, we are remembering who we are. The messengers of the stars.
Born to abundance. Born from abundance. An abundance of love. An abundance of opportunity. Abundance, abundance everywhere we look. Look at the trees. An abundance of leaves. An abundance of trees in the forest. Look at our bodies. An abundance of cells. All the millions and trillions and zillions. In the ocean. An abundance of waves. In the sea. An abundance of fish. Abundance. That's what we are. That's our birthright.
Abundance.
Don't be afraid to claim that abundance, because that's what we are, abundance.
Dance.
Fantastic. Just fantastic, you guys.
Thank you.
What an exquisite and wonderful way to conclude our show. And again, a reminder, everybody, you can find them by going to starchild.ca. I put it in the chat box. Fanny and Vigari, you will see a lot of comments in the chat box, people just loving your music. And what a beautiful way to just take us. Thank you for helping us to remember who we are.
Thank you. We are here to shine our light, and thank you for the tribe to be alive.
Yes, we send our love to all of you out there, and it's such an honor to spend
We will
this time
definitely
with you.
have you back on again soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Much love.
You know, it's interesting. This is twice that we all of a sudden would have an opening because we had somebody else who was going to perform tonight. And at the last minute, that person didn't work out. And like 4 days ago. And literally within minutes, Fanny sends a message to me on Facebook Messenger saying, "Hey, Scott, I would love to be on Saturday Night Live again." And the exact same thing had happened the last time she was on. We had an opening and she sent me a message. So I just want to acknowledge how tuned in you are, sister. Definitely want to acknowledge that. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. And isn't that the world that we're living in now? There is amazing, beautiful synchronicity. So going to gallery view so we can see all the people that are still with us live, Jay and Jan and our Mystic Abbott and Debbie and Guinevere, Jeff, and of course, Fanny and Vigari. Thank you for still being with us. And our 150 people still in the Zoom room. Love you guys. Come join us tomorrow morning, Sacred Sunday, with Cynthia Tina taking us on a trip around the world of intentional communities. That's 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Please do join us. Lots of love. Looking forward to our next connection.